What is up, everybody? Alright, so we're gonna hopefully do the quest to unlock the extra copies of the welfare today. But you have to get a lot of the event materials, so we're gonna have to farm a bit. But we might have some fun with it on the way, maybe do some solos on the farming stages or something. So Lost, as I was talking to you there, I remembered that the next Fate story is called fucking Fate Lost. Like, what the hell is that? I hope it's good, because it seems to be focusing on a lot of Norse stuff, and I mean, for 5 years, 6 years, I've complained how little Norse stuff there is in the Fate universe. So this is like its chance. But like, what if they blow it and it's like fucking Fate Last Encore? Right? We finally get Nordic stuff and it's Fate Lost Encore garbage. So, I'm a little worried. No, I don't really care about the new welfare. That's not really my style. I don't like hate them, but you know, it's a kiddo character. It's rainbow colored and all that, so not really my shtick. And gameplay-wise, I don't know, how do you all feel, chat? Because I feel like the only really good thing about them is anti-buff removal, which is good, but there's another welfare, Nightingale, that does that. And then just kind of general AoE stuff if you are fighting a bunch of different cavalry classes. That's like it. That's pretty niche. So gameplay-wise, I don't think they're that great either. Yeah, I like Ragnar's design. It's pretty, like, how do you put it? It's normal anime for, like, a Nordic character, and that's kind of what I want, so no complaints here. Chat, I'm really pissed. I was super pissed by this. So, spoilers, although we've already done most of the main story, but you fight Dagon as the final boss in the main story for this event, which is kind of silly because early in the event, the trash mobs, I was like, oh, those remind me of like minions of Dagon, and oh look, they're actually minions of Dagon, so surprise, surprise. But the final fight with him, he's got like 1.5 million health, and there's no event CE or anything like that, and he's got some gimmicks, so it's a real boss fight. Like, that's a real boss fight. Now, on my main account, I just blitzed through it because I was like, you know, I'll make a video for this later because I want to do the challenge quest as fast as possible because I got to the challenge quest late, and then I wanted to play the Gundam network test. Spoilers, it didn't work. It was a battle with the login screen for 6 hours, so that was great. But anyway, so I blitzed through it super fast, and I was like, I'll make a video later on my ult account, right? I'll just like summon my Cu if I want to solo it, or you know, use another unit, like maybe do a Lancelot setup or whatever. And you know, I'll make a real video later. So anyway, obviously I had a lot of problems. I forgot, I didn't record the audio properly for the challenge quest. I literally did not have enough time to record it again because of the network test. Just all kinds of problems with that video. I kind of rushed it out. Not very happy with that video. But then the network test didn't even work. You couldn't even play the game. It was just total shit show. And then I get on my ult account to record Dagon, right? Actually cool boss. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I can make a video for Dagon, right? This will be good. And then I realized, and I didn't realize this before because I was blitzing through it, you can't summon friends. So I can't summon anything from my main account, which pretty much any unit that would be applicable to that fight that would make a good video is on my main account. So I can't do that either. And I'm like, wow, I really screwed. These last couple of days didn't go so good for me, right? Not exactly the best for content creation. I kind of made every decision incorrectly, apparently. But you know, live and learn. Don't rely on network tests. But yeah, kind of a shame that Dagon is a pretty big name in Lovecraft and stuff. Just in an event that no one's gonna remember. But they gave him a cool design, you know, it's not too over the top. Right? So I didn't mind it. I just wish it was maybe in the main story. Like not an event story. Dude, I'm so mad. My challenge quiz video is so crap because I rushed it out the door like really quickly. Percival did nothing. Like, oh my god, I shamed Percival, dude. If he's watching the video, he has so much potential value, but he doesn't get any of it. And I just didn't, I was just trying to get the fight over with, so as I was doing it, I'm like, I should really reset this and fix the setup so Percival actually does something. But, you know, I won, and I was like, I'll just roll with it, and then the sound didn't work, and then I messed up the bit rate, and then I didn't even get to do the network test, so... Yeah, Percival should not even been on that team, or he should have just been used differently. Like it was not good. Why did I just do that stage? I don't think that's not the. This is the free quest I should have been doing. I'm trying to remember. This might be a stage where you fight like 3-1-3 or 1-2-3 or something. I know it's a weird one, but let's. It's 1-3-1. That's so weird. I actually like when they do that though. All right, I'd like to use Mordred Arthur for stages like... Chat, I'm not crazy. Has anyone else noticed this? For like the last year and a half or something, I swear, almost every fucking stage like this, like the penultimate stage, that is like 90 plus and is normally not 3-3-3, right? It's fucking Lancers! Right? It's like Lancers all of the time, and rarely when it's not, there's still like a giant enemy saber in it. So Arthur's bonus damage is against sabers, and then obviously he murders Lancers, and he murders giant enemies. Like, holy shit, like Arthur is godly for these stages, right? Because like there's giant enemies everywhere, there's Lancers everywhere, there's sabers everywhere. That's the three things that he murders, right? And then also because he has a crit thing, he's good at the single target thing, right? So you clear the one enemy, then you AoE the three enemy. It's really good, right? It's like the devs were like, you know what? Arthur's not meta enough. We gotta fix this, right? Because I feel like I don't know, 7 out of 10 times the final node is a Lancer node, which has actually been awesome because we've been fighting so many Lancers as a final stage like that. I've kind of just passively gotten a crap load of Lancer gems, which I need. You know I can't say this name, but Arcana, is that it? Arcana 7? Arcana 7? Thank you for the 4-month sub, dude. I'm more of a VOD viewer, do time zones. Yeah, I remember that. I really appreciate your insight on the game and help you give free play showing potential low star servers. Just don't watch my last video. Don't do that. Not a good one. I blame Gundam. Chat, I was so excited to play that, but thank you, seriously though, thank you for that 4-month sub, man. I appreciate it. But dude, I was so excited to play that Gundam network test, and it didn't work at all. And it's like, fuck. Anyway, all right, let's see what Arthur's gonna do. I kind of want to just throw the support in the back row and see if I don't want to get carried by meta support here. Anyone got a limit broken? CE, that's the good. There we go. Chat, I think I've gotten 4 CE drops in this event, and I wish it was a better craft essence, right? If you're gonna get enough like CEs where you could potentially limit break 2 of them, right? And that could be useful beyond the event, and like you could like dual wield the CE and stuff, and put on your support list a lot, that kind of thing. You really want it to be a better, like an actual craft essence you're gonna use, right? Where this one I don't think I'm gonna use. You especially want it to be something that's generally used that you might be able to use on different kinds of characters. That way you're getting more boom for your buck. Like, Golden Sumo, for example, would be a really good one to get a bunch of CE drops for because, attack up is so good and can be used on, like, any unit. So people that get 2 of those, that's really, really good. Alright, so we'll go Mordred, Arthur, and then, this unit can be, like, anything. Like, it doesn't even matter. I'm pretty sure they could... Like, if I wanted to be meta, I would just do Waver, but, what else would be fun? There's always just a 3rd Saber, go boom, boom, boom. Let's go Choco Jana, because, she gives the whole crit attack thing. I used to do this a lot, this exact setup. Alright, Alright, we need every kind of material, so I can kind of put whoever in the back row. I'll do Hans for now. I need to make another Bizette video, because I never really... I just made like one solo with her, and I never did anything again, so I need to fix that. By the way, I finally decided I wanted to grail. I was sitting there, I had extra grails. I'm like, who do I grail? Like, who do I want my next 100 to be? And then I'm like, you know, I haven't grailed a low star in a while, so I like Darius. Darius is the way to go. And he was one of my favorite berserkers getting into the game. He's green. Hey, Sharquado. So yeah, Darius is going to be my next 100. And I think he's even going to be my next 2K foe after Mordred's done anyway. Cause yeah, I think he deserves it, and by the time he's all upgraded, maybe we'll have an animation update. That would be great. Oh, I read chat. I just ignore half of what you idiots say, so you know, there's that. Just because you say something in chat doesn't mean I give a fuck. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that one's limit broken. That's what's going on. I was like, where are my CEs? She probably isn't gonna need to NP. How many of these can I bring? Let's see here. Can I get away with like that? I think I can get away with that. Let's see, Mordred is actually better with the starting NP. Arthur could do like just K-scope really. Alright, let's see if this works. You know, all I gotta do is click a button, but I'm just gonna wait. I want my money back. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so giant enemy first. Probably... I'm trying to think what's the best way to go about this. You could either triple crit with like Mordred. I guess you just NP it. That's kind of... I don't know, that's kind of awkward that the giant is first, because... it's kind of wasteful doing it like this. Throw the NP out into the one. Do I need to crit? Probably not. Alright, let's see what happens. You know, I've known for a while, but I'm just not doing anything for me. But, you know, for the sake of the VOD viewers, we'll do that. Yeah, if I had Arthur Buster, I might have gone for crits and not the NP, but... Okay, you could triple crit here. It's just really awkward because the, yeah, I guess Choco John is not really gonna make the cut then. But it's just really awkward that the giant enemies wave 1, they're normally wave 2. That made it kind of weird. Yeah, Choco John needs to be someone that could like throw out an NP right here or something like that. So the deck just shuffled in a way that I can't do anything that great. I don't know, we'll see if this works. I guess Arthur got all of his cards in the last hand. Yeah, this might not work right here. Wow, that's pathetic. Yeah, I got really fucked up because of just the way the deck shuffled. Yeah, Johnny shouldn't be on the team then. It's not worth it. Dude, that sucked. Like, that sucked so bad. I think they just didn't do nearly enough damage there. Yeah, it just needs to be someone that can NP. I don't know, I actually feel like though this setup would have 3-turned like 9 times out of 10. I think that was really unlucky that it went that way. But we're probably not gonna kill now either because we don't have our crits. I feel like this was like the worst way the hand could possibly have been, but that's why you don't want a team like that. So you want it to where it can win no matter what the hand is. So. I swear support's just better. Like you got Waver, it's just way better. You could just give Choco-Jana though, starting NP, and if she NP second wave, it would be fine. Wow, and he still didn't kill him. What a joke, dude! I was so disappointed though that the reason he was missing with this shit is because she didn't kill that one fish. The crit, but then Mordred didn't do enough to kill the other one, so. Alright, let's try this again. I do legit think though that team would actually clear more times than not, but it definitely would fail a few, now and then, so. Not that great. Man, not a lot of people with the CE limit broken yet. Guessing it's a combination of just how much you have to farm, right? A lot of times people are done with the event, they'll limit break it, even if they didn't get extra copies. But I think you have to farm quite a bit of the mobs here. Yeah, the issue is the CE. Like I'd have to lower my my drop effectiveness. I'm not even sure I can 3-turn this actually reliably if I don't lower my drop effectiveness. You try that. But yeah, now that I think about it, like I can 3-turn it obviously, but I mean I could 3-turn it without affecting my performance if I made this like Castor or Toria or Merlin and then put that here, obviously. But yeah, I probably would have to like do Waver or whatever. I'm not sure I could do it otherwise. Like I could if I changed the CE, but I don't want to change the CE. Huh. Yeah, I'd rather get drop efficiency over 3-turning, so we'll actually keep it fucked up. Let's try Choco-Jana one more time and see if she impresses. I guess I could do Saber Lily, actually. Because Saber Lily's got her battery, and then her passive, and then the CE gives a little bit. So that might be enough. I think Mordred as well, actually, on NA. So yet again, just not the cards you want to see Arthur cards. Wow, this is fucked up, dude. I think what you do in this situation, I guess you prep. There's so much value lost with Arthur like this.
Shield 13 決勝スタートこれは世界を救う戦いである少年
I don't really like making teams that rely on a specific summon because then if they don't pop on your support list, the team doesn't work anymore. I like being able to just summon literally anybody from the list that just happens to have the craft essence that I want. And then have them in the back row. Also, you know, I could just use Waver, but I'm just trying to mess around without. Well, let's see what Arthur does next turn here. This is surprisingly awkward though because the giant is in the first wave, not the second wave. But ultimately, I care more about, like, you know, just having fun or AP efficiency more so than 3-turning. Because actually 3-turning is kind of a trap that gets you to waste a whole bunch of apples. Like, a lot of times if you 4 or 5-turn, but you're getting way more drops per stage, you end up saving a lot of AP in the long run, so... Let's see what Arthur can do with the Brave Chain. Only one buster. Wow. I didn't think he would do that much. I'm not gonna lie. I knew he would do quite a chunk because, you know, he's got his crit buff and then got the crit buff from the team and all that, but damn. He just fucking died. The question is, can Mordred do that if she's the one that has cards at the end? Yeah, this is Rockhawk's theme. That's an oldie, man. Boy, though, it's actually pretty rare finding these CEs, dude. See, Arthur has half of his passive, because you can actually switch it around. Especially if you had Waver. You can switch around who has the starting NP. It does suck though when you have to bring this many event CEs. Limits your teams a lot. Okay. Yeah, Arthur's just overcharging super hard. But I'm trying to think how many of these stages we actually need to do before we can get to see all the welfare stuff. So I think you need about 1,000 of each material, roughly. 600 to 1,000 for each material. I think it's about 1,000 because I think it could be 4 nodes, and it's 300 of 2 nodes or 2 types. Sucks though. I'm basically never gonna use the welfare. I don't think they're actually very practical for budget setups at all, outside of a very specific circumstance. And then I also don't like them, so I think they're kind of useless. Like, the more I've looked at it, I'm just like, I don't see why you would ever use this. The only time I'd ever see like a budget team using them is if you're in a challenge quest where you are fighting specifically at the recovery. You might say, oh, that happens all the time. It really doesn't. Like, sure, a decent chunk of challenge quests are AoE, but they're normally filled with like berserkers and knight classes and stuff like that, so. I mean, the alter ego class isn't even good. That's the thing, the alter ego class is not good. It's just a lot of units that happen to be alter ego have extremely good toolkits. And I think that has kind of made people think like alter egos are like super good, but they're not. It's not actually a good class. You still take full damage from the enemy, and if you're fighting a challenge quest boss or whatever, that's really rough. And for like straight farming, like what we're doing right now, they're way too weak. Right? They don't like who gives a shit for them in like a straight farming. There's way better choices at that point. Okay, we're pretty far off actually. I didn't realize we had this few materials. That sucks. We're gonna have to farm quite a bit here. Yeah, the more grown-up version, I guess, is better, but I wouldn't use that either, to be honest. Like, I just fundamentally don't like the design. I don't like them or the new Saber very much. I don't mind that they exist, right? 'Cause some people do like them and good for them, but I'm not, like, interested at all. Yeah, I don't really like the art style, and it's really out of place. It's very weird looking when you're standing next to everything else. I really hate the way I'm using Arthur right now. It's super awkward. How do you guys feel about Fate Lost, anyway? I know there's not that much information about it, but did they give a release date and such? Like, what's the plan with it? It does look like Pokemon art, but apparently that's because the artist does Pokemon art, so that would explain that. I don't really care if it's from another, you know, series or not. They've had plenty of that. It just looks really out of place, so I don't really like it that much to begin with. Not like Pokemon's art was really ever my shtick. Ragnar. He's actually one of the most famous Nordic heroes, if you will. King, Bruce, whatever, however you want to see it. He's actually so, like, major that I'm surprised they haven't used him before. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm just worried they're gonna blow it. Alright, time for Arthur to go burr again. Seems like the trick is just double NT and then crit on the third wave. Seems the best. You know, they said who was writing the novel, but I forgot. I looked it up at the time, but I forgot. Oh, maybe someone in chat remembers. Is that the person that did Prototype Blue Fragments? I think that's the one. Yep. Well, I don't know what to think then, because they've been pretty hit or miss. Some of their work I've actually been like, yeah, this is pretty good. But some of it's been like, wow, this is terrible. So, but some of that, when I think about it, most of the stuff they've written that I didn't like was under like extreme time restraints and/or like when FGO just did not give a shit. And so that's not entirely the writer's fault. So, yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, they did most of 5-2, and I did like 5-2 for the most part. Yeah, its pacing is not perfect, but I don't think FGO ever has perfect pacing. Even 5-1, which I think is better at pacing than normal for them, I still would not like put on par with a proper anime, manga, movie, you know, whatever that's got really good pacing. Yeah, I think like they wrote Septum, which is the worst. They wrote London, which also is quite bad in my opinion. But that really is when FGO was just phoned in and, you know, not trying very hard and bad time restraints and all that kind of thing. So I like 5-1 more than 5-2 when it comes to like just some of the like character interactions and like, you know, the events that unfold, but I like the setting and a lot of the characters themselves in 5-2 more, right? And ultimately, I like them both a lot, right? I really, oh, you're saying 5-1, I'm thinking Lostbelt 1, yeah, excuse me. So for Lostbelt 5-1 and 5-2, excuse me, I just like 5-2 way better than 5-1. I don't actually like 5-1 very much. I like the characters, right? Jason's great, Orion's great, all that, you know, like the cast is fine, but the story is an excuse, and I think it's hard to deny that. Now, some people may not care about that, right? It's subjective how much you care about that, but the actual story of 5-1 is just like a complete excuse. It has nothing to do with anything. It was just like an arbitrary barrier to go where you're actually supposed to go that they just made up, right? They just made up an extra step for the actual Lostbelt, because 5-2 is the actual Lostbelt that actually matters and is the reason you're there, and it's the thing that connects to the overarching story with the other Lostbelts and the alien god and all that. 5-1 is nothing, right? It's just a lol, you can't go where you're supposed to go, we're in your way, Kappa, right? That's it. That's all 5-1 is. So its story, I think, is outrageously weak, and it just feels very contrived and made up to waste your time. However, the characters within it are awesome regardless. I just wish a lot of, this is how I see it, I wish we could have had a lot of the characters from 5-1 and a lot of the like, you know, character moments and stuff from 5-1 during 5-2 instead, right? I think that would have been awesome, right? If we could get some like of that stuff going on with the, because 5-2 is a little barren actually when it comes to like the character development and whatnot for some of the characters, in my opinion. So if you could have kind of like combined the two, I think it would have been much better. Because yeah, I think 5-1 is filler. I think it's hard to deny that. 5-1 is like literally filler. It's a made up obstacle that just wastes your time to getting to the actual meat of the story, right? So it's very much filler. But again, Jason's awesome, Orion's awesome, you know, all that stuff is all very cool. So it has good moments in it, and it has good characters in it. It's just the story sucks. But that's okay, right? It's not like how much you actually value like the because like Fate Stay Night's story sucks, right? Like very much so, you know, like the whole premise is dumb as hell. You know, it's very stupid, and like, oh, of course it's teenagers and all this other nonsense. But you know, Fate Stay Night is very character driven, and like the story is a backdrop. But generally, I like good story, right, or a good setting, and I like a good backdrop, right? But how much that matters to people, I think varies a lot. I still like 5-1. I don't think 5-1 is bad at all. I still enjoy it. It's just blatantly filler. It just happens to be filler that I'm like, oh hey, this is pretty cool though, right? Like that's kind of how I see it. But with 5-2, you know, I'm gonna be biased anyway, just because it focuses on a lot of characters that I was very interested in, like Wadim, Canis, and Zeus. So I was very interested in the characters. Obviously, we get Flames and explore the most in 5-2, and then obviously I like all the stuff with Mars and stuff. So yeah, 5-2 is like just more up my alley. Dude, so many of the companions, you know, and some of these stories are just so bad. The twins are better, I would agree. Because holy shit, some of the side companions, like why are they even there? It's like they're trying to fill a quota or something, and it's just like checking off a checkbox, and it just feels like so stupid. Some of the side human characters and some of the like Yagyu and stuff. So it's like, why are you here? You don't do anything. It's very silly. Then you have like Mordred in Lostbelt 3. That's the shitty one. That's the thing. 5-1 is still good, right? It's kind of fillery, but it's still good. I think 5-2 is good. Lostbelt 1's really good, but Lostbelt 3, whew. That is some dog shit. Yeah, I agree. That's probably it, Shadow. That it's like them trying to make you sympathize with the people of the area and not want to kill them, right? But yeah, that worked. It worked in Lostbelt 1 because first off, they hadn't done that concept before, and also those characters did more. And it really wasn't their fault, right? Like the setting all like reinforced it, but then it feels like they're just like it's like a trope after that point, right? And yeah, it doesn't really work. I thought it really didn't work in Lostbelt 2. I really think Lostbelt 2 is like the most wasted potential ever. I think Lostbelt 2 could have been such a good story. I think the problem, there's like two big issues I see with Lostbelt 2. First off, the aftermath of it, they didn't plan out, and they've just been writing as they go, right? Because like the fallout of it has lingered quite a bit, as it should, but they didn't plan it out at all, right? They just kind of wrote it as they went. And so they needed to have written Lostbelt 2 with the fallout in mind, and the fallout needed to be planned, and they could have made like a whole character arc that connected to the other Lostbelts beyond just Lostbelt 2, right? That would have been really good. And I just, the whole thing, it's just, I don't know, so much, everything died off screen, right? There was barely any actual Norse stuff in it. I don't know, I wasn't crazy about Lostbelt 2, even though, again, I like the characters just fine. It just felt so unfleshed out, right? It felt so unfleshed out. With there being barely any, like, actual Norse characters in it, and almost everything dying off screen, it just felt like really barren, and I'm like, why is this even so long? Because like what should really happen should be over in like 5 minutes. You know, it's just, it didn't really work for me. And in Lostbelt 3, I think it's terrible. It's paced like trash. The ending is unbelievably rushed. I think the antagonistic presence was so weak, and I just didn't care. It didn't even feel that threatening. That story is like more annoying than anything. I can't believe how badly paced it is. I don't know why the cast is what it is. I think the cast in all the other stories is pretty good, but like, why the hell is Mordred in fucking Lostbelt 3? And I'm a huge Mordred fan, but why is she there? And it's not like you can't have, you know, characters from different mythologies and stuff, you know, mixed in. That's not the problem, but she doesn't do anything. She has no characterization. She has no character development. She doesn't have interesting interactions with the other protagonists or antagonists. Like, literally, what is the point, right? It's just so fucking stupid. Like, it's so annoying. It's actually, it's like bad for, I always say this, it's bad for Mordred fans because she gets used cheaply, constantly, and it is not used in a meaningful way ever. And because she's used cheaply, constantly, everyone's like, oh, they use Mordred so much, I don't want them to use Mordred anymore. And then so she never actually gets fucking character development or any real moments. Like, what cool moment has Mordred ever had in FGO? Right? Like that time our Artoria altar said ... Like, wow, that was a really good one. You know, or the time that she died in 2 seconds in Lostbelt 5-2, or where she literally did nothing in Lostbelt 3. Like, she has no cool moments ever, right? She never does anything cool, and she never has a character, like, growth moment. She never has, like, you know, an interesting dynamic with another character, right? She just dies a lot, and then, like, stands around. It's like, oh, that's really good use of a character. Even Sanson, for God's sakes, I think has had a better run of it than Mordred. Not that Sanson has had a good run of it either, but, you know, at least he's had some, like, actual characterization. He has more characterization in Orleans than Mordred has in the entirety of FGO. Right? I'm not being hyperbolic. He absolutely does. You at least get, like, his whole duality and that kind of thing. Mordred is just, like, window dressing for some fucking reason. Now, on the flip side, Mordred got an animation update. Sanson didn't. Never letting that one go. Let's see, chat. What are some other characters that have not been used well? I would say Blood Axe. Literally the only time they characterized him was in Solomon, when everyone just kind of got a generic cameo, right? So he got a little characterization in his cameo in Solomon, right? That's not particularly good. Yeah, Sam Gilius didn't really get to do anything, that's true. He's really only characterized through, like, his bio, which that's not so hot. Arthur hasn't been in the main story, so not exactly the same thing. What's worse is when you get used, but you're used badly, right? Because Arthur could just get used later, where, like, Mordred probably not. Tesla's had some good moments, though. Not so. Okay, let's see. Obviously, London is a shit show, but that's because the entire story is a shit show. At least, though, they hype up how powerful he is in London. So at least he has that, but he obviously doesn't have any characterization. He doesn't have any, like, cool moments. He doesn't have, like, an actual fight that happens in the story, right? It's just gameplay nonsense. And, oh, we beat him, right? You know, that's it. And then you've got America, which actually, he's okay in America, right? You obviously have, like, the Edison memes. But again, he is shown to be incredibly powerful, way above, like, the standard servants there. Like, clearly a cut above the rest there. So he did get something, but still a fairly small role. Just, again, he's very powerful, and that's about it. And then he's had some good characterization in Scatty's interlude. Not in his interlude, but in Scatty's interlude, he has real characterization. But that's not the main story, right? So that's not as good. So Tesla, I would say, has probably had a bit of a rough time with it as well. It's not like, oh yeah, in 5-2, he also dies in 2 seconds and doesn't do anything, and his powers aren't respected, and, like, literally has an EX ranked defense noble phantasm, never uses it, and gets one shot. Like, okay, yeah, that's really caring about the continuity here. So yeah, Tesla definitely had a rough time. At least, though, he's been shown to be powerful, so I guess that's something. But yeah, overall, he's not great. Let's see. So Babbage has, like, the most interesting character dynamic in London, and it's wasted because London is badly written. but like the fact that he's like kind of, you know, got a connection to Frankenstein and is not just a straight antagonist, right? That's all really interesting, but they kind of just bring it up 5 seconds before you kill him. So it's like, okay, well that meant nothing, right? Like, FGO is really bad about that kind of thing in the early days. They didn't, and they're still bad about it now sometimes. They still, I think, do a really shitty job with like pacing and characterizing and having like a fulfilling character arc and an overarching story, right? They don't do a great job with that for the most part. Sometimes they do a good job, but it's kind of few and far between. So yeah, the key to 3 turning this has been mostly just clearing in the last turn, although it didn't work this time, but it seems to work most of the time. Yep, Geronimo, that's fair. Geronimo's really fair because obviously a major figure in American history, a very unique one. And they made a story set in America, with that being the whole theme, and he was in it, and he's a joke. And he's barely in it, gets no characterization, just immediately dies, does nothing. It's like, okay. Imagine being such a famous figure, and getting a story set in your land, right, your place of origin, and then you don't do anything. That'd been like if Achilles didn't do anything in 5-2. That's a fair comparison. If Achilles had showed up in 5-2, was like, hey guys, and then just died to like a trash mob, that would be outrageous. And that's what happened to Geronimo in America, right? It's bullshit. And they would never do that to like Nobu in Japan. They would never do that, right? And they did it to Billy and Geronimo, right? Like, what a load of horseshit. Yeah, that is kind of Hercules. That's fair. That is kind of Hercules in Lostbelt 5. But that's because they didn't want to write him. Like, straight up, that's just because they didn't want to write him, so they looked for an excuse to write him out of the story. And they tried to act like, oh, it was a canon thing. Like, no, it's not. Like, you just made that up to get rid of him. Like, that was a convenient excuse you contrived. God, like, their disrespect for American servants in the American story is just... It's ridiculous, dude. And like, they don't respect any of their canonical abilities. They don't even use their canonical abilities. It's so bad. They have such a minor role. And I'm telling you, I'll give props to the writer for Lostbelt 1 as well, because I think they intentionally picked some of those characters because they knew those characters had gotten shafted and they weren't treated fairly. And they tried to treat them fairly in 5-1, or in Lostbelt 1, and I think they did. A little bit of a glitch in the system there. But not only did they treat them fairly, they didn't just slap them in a story like, oh, Billy got shafted, so let's have Billy do really well. They didn't do that, right? They used Billy in ways that his powers would work, and like there were characters he would be able to beat and stuff, and it made sense, right? And they did that for Beowulf and so on and so forth. So they actually just used the characters naturally, so it worked really well. And they actually read APOC. That's the thing about Lostbelt 1. Is they clearly read the book APOC. They didn't just watch the anime. Because if you watch the anime, you'll get it wrong. And FGO in the early days didn't read APOC. I stand by that. I 100% think in the early days of FGO, they could not be bothered to read APOC. They just like looked at like the notes. Because they did not characterize anything from APOC in the early days of FGO. They went out of their way not to. They made sure like, okay guys, we're not reading the book. And so to make sure we don't accidentally conflict with the book, we'll give Vlad Manus enhancement, so he's crazy. Atalante won't speak and she'll just die immediately and she'll have no bio. Shakespeare, even though he's the most famous person in literature and human history, won't say anything and his bio will be barren because this makes sense. Spartacus was nothing but muscle. There we go. So we couldn't possibly conflict with APOC because nothing from APOC is fucking characterized in this game. Like, it's ridiculous, right? And then way later, when FGO became way more popular and made more money and they put more effort into it and they actually gave a shit and they started adding other characters from APOC, those characters got to be like used properly and written properly, like Achilles and Semiramis and stuff. So they get to actually, be here where, I mean, William Shakespeare, has anyone here, I'm serious, has anyone in chat actually looked at William Shakespeare's bio in FGO? Has anyone done that? Because I have, and it's a joke, and it's like, how the fuck is this the most famous writer in human history? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is the most barren bio ever. And Atalante is actually like that too. Atalante's bio, her voice lines are just like, good. Okay, and that's it. That's our whole bio. Like, okay, what is going on, chat? What is this? Like, what is the deal with the video captured here? I don't think this is how this is supposed to look. Let me just reset this real quick and see if we can get that sorted out. Hold on a minute. Something hath gone awry. I don't know what would give me that idea, but let me just reset this entirely. I think that's the best way to fix this. I think it's my splitter. Android basically really doesn't want you recording your phone internally. And so, like, if you hook it up to a capture card, it just doesn't work. So you have to hook it up to a splitter and then hook it up to a capture card. And I think that's the problem. Okay, that fixed it though. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the deal. I'll have to maybe get a different splitter and see if that helps. You know, here's the thing about Gilgamesh. I agree, like, he's... Okay, I know a lot of people don't like Gilgamesh. Obviously, a lot of people do. He's actually one of the most famous Fate characters. So he's got, like, the most fans out of, like, almost any male character, honestly. He's super, super popular. But there's a lot of people that don't like him, right? But regardless of if you like him or not, if he's your cup of tea or not, he's still a really interesting character that's really well fleshed out and has like a lot to him, and a lot of characters play off of him in very interesting ways if he's used seriously, right? Like I think like Gil brought so much to Fate Zero, it was ridiculous, right? Like the amount of like perspective and whatnot that he brought to that was great. So awesome character, and okay, my capture card's freaking out again. But awesome character, and has never really been used that well in FGO outside of maybe Babylonia. But even then, he's like hands are tied almost the entire story. And you don't really get like a healthy dose of Gilgamesh even in Babylonia, right? They kind of go out of their way to have him not do a lot. Like really, that's the kind of what Babylonia is a big excuse to make sure Gil doesn't do a lot. Which is not super interesting. So I would like, but here's what I'm getting to. I don't think they're going to use him. That's the thing, because he has been used in Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, Fate Strange Fake, FGO, Babylonia, maybe not in the deepest way, but still there, right? Because he's been in those things, I don't think they're going to use him in a meaningful way. They'll use him in like a cameo, like he was in Solomon, right? And they'll do stuff like that. Oh yeah, in CCC, but I don't think they're going to use him in a super meaningful way. And I never like that. I don't like being like, oh, well, this character's already in this work and that work and that work. That doesn't make sense to me. I want for FGO, for basically everyone to eventually get some kind of screen time, right, if possible. And then also characters that are just interesting. So for example, I don't think it's really fair if you want to like flesh out Enkidu, for example, and have Gilgamesh not be a part of that. Because they're such integral characters to each other. It's stupid to be like, oh yeah, we'll shove Gil to the side and have Enkidu here. That's so boring, right? Like that's silly. That's kind of like, let's do Mordred stuff and make sure we have absolutely nothing from the other Knights of the Round Table or Toria. Like what? Right? Like that's the good part though, right? So I don't like that kind of mindset where you just like, oh well, this character's already had their due, so they never get used again. If it makes sense to use them, right? Now obviously if you're like, oh yeah, wow, we've never used Blood Axe, we should probably get around to doing that, then yeah, it's fair to kind of go out of your way to use Blood Axe, but then don't go out of your way not to use other characters that have already been used. That just, I don't like that kind of storytelling. It feels very like fake, feels very checklisty and very unnatural, and you also get robbed of good interactions, right? For like example, I was so glad that they actually used Karna in Lostbelt 4, because I didn't think they would, because they'd already used Karna a decent amount and they hadn't used Arjuna. Y'all might remember this, but back before Lostbelt 4 had came out, my prediction was Arjuna's probably going to get a lot of focus and Karna will get like none. That was my prediction, because that just follows the kind of storytelling they do in FGO a lot. And that's what it looked like. What made it so great was that's exactly what it looked like they were gonna do, right? Like where Karna was gonna be like Tristan was in Lostbelt 6, where he's like there at the start and then just shoved out and then never heard from again. That's what I figured they were gonna do, and I was like, well, that sucks, and it was just gonna be an Arjuna fest. and that's completely what it seemed like. But then at the end, they were like, "Oh, just kidding, right? Like you thought we already did Arjuna versus Karna, but we're doing it again. Fuck you!" And now it's Dragon Ball Z. So that was great, actually. I thought that was awesome, and yeah, I was really satisfied with that. But that's because it made sense. Like you can't not do that, right? You can't not do that, especially with like, you know, how their 1v1 was so fucked up in America and everything. That was like the right thing to do. And I feel like it's the same thing with like Mordred, right? If you decide to finally have Mordred do something in FGO, I think it'd be really stupid to go out of your way to be like, oh yeah, but we can't use Gwaine and Artoria and all these other characters because we already used them, right? That doesn't work, right? So yeah, just because the characters had screen time, I don't think it's a good reason not to give them screen time. But at the same time, you also do need to try to find ways to spread it out and give characters some screen time that have been ignored forever. And how about that Boudica chat? Remember when Boudica was Nero's hype man for some reason? Remember that? That was great. Real good use of that character. Yeah, Edison is, you know, inexperienced, but yeah, I do get where people are coming from when they're like, they're probably not going to do any presidents because they kind of generically made them all the presidents, even though that makes literally no sense, but you know, FGO things, so yeah, they like to shit on America a lot in FGO, unfortunately, so I'm not really expecting them to do a whole lot. And yeah, we never got Agravain. That's true. They even said that they were gonna add him someday. They just haven't. God, some of the interludes with Nero in them, where they're just like actually about Nero, it's awful. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why is this their interlude if it's about Nero? Like the entire time. I actually feel like FGO needs more classical stories. I say that a lot, but I think, you know, I want more just classical stories that give characters a chance to like show what they're about and interact with other characters in interesting ways. And that's another reason why I don't want them like to not use characters that have already been used. Because, for example, if you add Ragnar, I really want to see him interact with the other relevant characters. And if they've been used a lot, I don't want them to have an excuse not to use them. That's stupid, right? Does anyone else feel this way? I feel like FGO is constantly teasing awesome character interactions, but then never doing them and having one character on screen at a time talk about the other character that's not actually present in that story, right? I am so sick of like, you know, Rama talking about Sita, but Sita's never there, or like Mordred talking about Artoria, but Artoria's never there. I feel like FGO does this constantly, and it's because of this screen time sharing bullshit that they do. And I'm like, I just want actual stuff, right? It's kind of like, I don't want Robin Hood talking about, you know, the Sheriff of Nottingham all the time, and then you never see that, and then way later, Sheriff of Nottingham shows up, but then Robin Hood's not in that story, and then the Sheriff talks about Robin Hood, but then nothing ever happens. That's stupid, right? And I feel like that's like FGO in a goddamn nutshell, where they're like constantly teasing these things, but it never ever happens, and it yeah, it's kind of disappointing. By the way, I just made way more stars than I actually needed to make, but well, I'm not sure this will do enough damage either. It's really up to Arjuni here. 127. No. Good try though, champ. Yeah, Rama doesn't get to have a good time. It's kind of messed up because yeah, it's like in the lore, but then you've got Sigurd and Brunhilde just laughing at that. So it's like, okay, well now we're just being mean. I will say this, if they ever want to put Sita in regular FGO, they need to make a story out of it. It can't just happen like, oh, we just summoned her. Oh, okay. I guess the curse is gone, guys. Right? They need to have like an actual like story, like maybe a major event story. Maybe, you know, a lot of Indian servants and stuff. And then like have things happen that actually make sense to have Sita, you know, get here at the same time as Rama. That would be good, right? And I say this all the time, but could we like get a story, event story or otherwise, that's just like set in Nottingham, and we get like Little John, Robin Hood, maybe an alternate version of Robin Hood, because they've already said there's a bunch of different takes. That gives them an excuse to add waifu Robin Hood, right? And you get like, you know, that'd be great. And then you could like tease like, you know, King Richard, right? You could do that and then add that later, right? That'd be great. But yeah, I'd like some more classical stuff that just gives you some goddamn characters. And of course, you know, shove in some monkey wrenches there. You don't need the entire cast to just be classical Robin Hood characters. You know, of course you can sneak in some characters from other stuff that makes, you know, fun connections, or just, you know, see people and you know, how the different things interact, right? That's great, right? We're never getting Little John, by the way. That's my prediction. The only way we're getting Little John is if, like how Fate Lost is coming out, right? If a book like that gets made and then the writer is like, oh yeah, I want to use a lot of stuff from Robin Hood stuff, and then they do it, right? Then FGO might add it. But I don't think FGO would ever naturally add Little John or the Sheriff of Nottingham. I just don't think they care enough. I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like Sheriff of Nottingham might have slightly better odds, but I just don't think Japan cares enough. And Fate used to not like super pander to like Japanese stuff and Chinese stuff, but it's not like that anymore, right? When you look at like Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, APOC, they actually kind of went out of their way to not overly weebify everything and fucking throw like samurai everywhere. They didn't really do that at all. If anything, I think they kind of knee-jerked the other way, and they kind of went way out of their way not to use a lot of Japanese stuff. Nowadays, now that Fate has become like really mainstream and a lot more popular and stuff, now I feel like they just super pander to Japan and China like super hard, like just constantly, and we kind of ignore the rest of the globe. So how many South American servants do you think will get Lostbelt 7? The pessimist in me wants to say like 1, right? But I think they are aware of it, how they have completely shafted that entire region, right? And so I think we'll get a healthy chunk. I'm gonna guess 3. Now, in my opinion, I'd be totally okay with it being like Shimosa. Shimosa was nothing but Japanese servants. There was not a single character in Shimosa that was not Japanese. Every single character was Japanese. I'd be completely okay if Lostbelt 7 was entirely South American servants, except for obviously like the overarching Lostbelt stuff, right? Obviously that can be not South American, but I'd be totally okay with that. And just Central America too, in my opinion, actually, because they've ignored Central America and a lot of. I remember I got flagged for this. Like I mixed up some Central America stuff with South American stuff, but like fuck you, their history overlaps so hard, and I don't mean that in like, oh, they're just similar. I mean that as in they literally overlap a lot, right? So it's like I think it's totally okay to mix in Central America stuff and their history and whatnot with South American stuff as well. I think that'd be really cool. So, and really just America stuff, right? I feel like the entire, all of the Americas gets totally shafted, right? And when they do get used, they get shit on. I'm pretty tired of that. You know, we can get some Canadian shit, which we technically have Paul Bunyan, but boy, did they not do a good job with that one, and they forgot about Canada there, so that was great. You know, we could get more American servants. There's loads to pull from there. You know, we can, Central America, South America, lots of good shit here. Lots of good shit, and yeah, they just ignore it. And there's like, who cares? So, maybe someday, though. Wait, what are we talking about? Gil killing the Fate route? Oh, Kojiro? Yeah, Kojiro dies to Gil in the Fate route. It's not shown, but it's heavily implied. That's like the worst matchup ever. Like, what are you gonna do with a non-Noble Phantasm Katana against Gilgamesh? Like, that's just like the dumbest matchup of all time. Other than like, I don't know, Saber Gilius against Gilgamesh or something. It's probably not so good either. I just can't believe Paul Bunyan wants to eat. I can't believe that he wrote that and they weren't like, oh wait a minute, Canada exists. I really want to know what they would say if someone pointed that out to them. Like, legitimately. Like, you don't have to point it out to them in like a mean way. But like, I'd like to just sit down, look at the Bond CE and be like, but what about Canada? Because, you know, the Great Lakes is that's where these stories originate. The picture, I'm pretty sure, is of a Great Lake or just the expanding wilderness. And then it's like, that's literally the border of Canada and America. That's like where that story originates. And regardless of where that picture is taken, they are referring to that area of the world which has more than one nation on it. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, who wrote that? Like, it's crazy. And I guess Canadians are probably pretty used to that kind of treatment, but I mean, my God, that's like a meme, right? It's not supposed to actually be that bad. Right? You're not supposed to actually forget about Canada. And here's the thing, and I actually like this about Canada and America. It doesn't always work with like their governments, but honestly, Americans and Canadians kind of are extensions of each other. It goes both ways. It's not just, oh, Canada's America's hat. It's kind of both ways. They are very similar people. There are, of course, differences and stuff, but they are probably the two most similar nations on the planet, right? They are very on the same page. Like, if you've got like two working guys, you know, like construction workers from one country and the other, and they talk to each other, they're going to get along just fine. Just like if you have, you know, what's really going to change if they get along or not is like what kind of person they are in their own respective countries, right? Because people in America don't get along with other people in America, and people in Canada don't get along with other people in Canada. But like, we're overall, our societies are very like for like. We are very similar. We have extremely similar cultures, and you know, we're very much brothers. And I actually think that's cool, right? You don't have a lot of countries that have that much camaraderie with each other. And really, the only issues that come about between Canada and America these days come about because of fucking like politician nonsense, right? Not like day-to-day actual people. So I think that's awesome, and yeah, I think that's something to kind of, you know, be embraced, not hated. But regardless of how similar we are, Canada still exists, right? Just because we're super similar doesn't mean Canada doesn't exist, because it do. All right, we almost have enough here. Actually, no, we don't. We need like we need still quite a bit more, like another 600 at each. Actually, so we're like halfway there. We don't need quite 600 of each, I don't think, but we do need quite a chunk. This is quite the farm we have to do. I actually have a lot of Canadian friends. Dude, what is going on with my capture card? What the hell? It literally just dropped entirely. This time it's not even glitching or blacking out, it just completely dropped. I don't even. Okay. But you can still see it on the stream though, can't you? This is so weird. Chat, I can see the game through OBS, but I can't see it on my monitor. I have no words. Well, you know what? For the generic farming, it's easy enough for me to just play through OBS, so... Yeah, it's either the dock, the cord, or the splitter. It's one of those three things, I'm quite sure. I guess it could be the monitor, but that seems very unlikely because other things with the monitor aren't a problem. So I have another dock that I can try, and I have other cords I can try. So after the stream, I might mess around with that. I think it's the splitter, though. I think that's my guess. I don't have a lot to base it on, but I think the splitter is what's causing the problem. But yeah, right now, you know what? I guess I can embrace this. So I'm gonna play through OBS. Chat, I'm gonna move you on the main monitor, chat. Chat, you've never been on the main monitor before. This is the first time. You're on monitor 1, chat. Look how important you guys are. This is actually nice because now I can adjust like volume so much easier. I can do this like super easy now. Promoted, yeah. Actually, I wonder if I can set this up in a way where I don't even hook this up to my monitor and I just hook it up to like the capture card and I just play it through OBS. That'd be kind of awkward because I will say it's kind of hard using this mouse through OBS. This feels a little weird. So So I'm not the biggest fan of that. It's also kind of harder to see and that kind of thing. Okay, I guess hold on. I can expand OBS here. Okay, that helps a bit. That's not too bad. Boy, this is a weird way to play FGO. Oh god. Oh no though, because I'm playing through chat. I see the chat on the VOD. See, like, look, chat. This mouse here. I see you guys when I'm playing. Normally, I don't see you all. Right, like that. Shit. That's a little strange. You're covering up the attack wheel. That'd be awful if I was doing like a challenge quest. Make me miss like a card or a crit rate or something. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Dude, I can't believe how many of these materials I need to farm. And really, I shouldn't be using apples for this. Wait, did I do something wrong? Yeah, I think I did, but whatever. We are so not breaking here. They are killing here, no way. Look at distraction, yeah. At least I'm not playing Elden Ring or anything right now. That's probably the farthest we've gotten from killing on this turn. Alright, I want to see if I can change the volume from the captured card. Does that affect things? I'm not sure it does. Yeah, I think the only way to change FGO's volume with this setup is through this menu, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, that seems like the only way I can do it. I could change it in OBS, but then you would hear you would change how the music sounds at the same time. Technology is complicated. I will say this is the most convoluted way to stream episodes like imaginable. It's insane. But it does some of the best quality you can get without having black bars. So if I can just iron out the kinks, it'll be great. My Wi-Fi just died. Oh, that's unfortunate. So do y'all think the Norse servants that we've seen in Fate Lost are all of them, and the rest of the cast is going to be like from around the globe, or do you think most of the cast is going to be Nordic? I actually hope most of the cast is Nordic. I like that idea. They never do that. I'm all for like, hey, we're gonna do a Greek story and we use a whole bunch of Greeks and it's like a Greek Holy Grail war. That'd be awesome. Or then you can do a Roman one and do a Nordic spam one. I think that's really good. I think most are Nordic. What makes you think that? Is it the name? Because I feel like that's the only reason to assume that is because of the name. But I think they might name it that just because the main characters are Nordic. I'm not sure that's going to make everybody Nordic. A portion of the plot will take place in the past when they're alive. And that's actually super interesting. Because then you could get a lot of characters that could potentially be servants later. I wonder if they'll use Lagartha any. I've always said they're always looking for reasons to put waifus in the game, right? And they keep gender bending dudes, right? They keep making male characters female and stuff. And I've always said Lagartha is such an easy pick for putting in a lady in the franchise, right? And they never do it. So, because if Ragnar is in it, they kind of can't ignore that. But I don't know, they'll find a way. Yeah, I think the main character is them, the kid. Clearly, I mean Billy the Kid, right? They would totally make him a main character. That is never happening. Like, Lostbelt 1 was truly shocking in how much Billy got used. But, yeah, there's no world he's ever going to be a main character in, like, a book or a manga series. Wait, is that why it's being made? Did they just draw a bunch of shit for fun and they're like, you know what, we need to make a story out of this? Is that what happened? I haven't looked into that. Is that what happened? Because that'd be really funny. If so, somebody get them to fucking draw more like Roman stuff and Greek stuff and North American stuff. Yes, that's why. That's such a bad reason, but I'll fucking take it. That is such a bad reason to make a book series, but if you actually look at the history for a lot of the Fate stuff, a lot of them started for really stupid reasons like that, so I will take it. Each master has 2 servants. That's kind of a bad idea because, like, if everyone was like a writing robot and there was no problems, you know, no human error, it'd be fine. But I worry they're gonna have the problems that like APOC had with the cast being too big and not being able to handle it. It's not easy to handle a big cast. Some writers are extremely good at it, and they're really good at characterizing people in a short amount of time, and then, but not making them two-dimensional. But that's really hard to do. Like, Sage Fake has done a much better job of it than APOC, I would say. Are there less masters than average? Okay, that would explain it then. The cast won't be that big at that point. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. I guess I'll just, you know, wait. That's the best way. When is the release date? Have you said? Because I'm interested. Like, I love Fate. Now, a lot of times Fate makes stuff that I end up not liking, but when Fate does it right, I love it to death, so it needs to really work. Like, oh god, Requiem. That Requiem is not my cup of tea right there. I don't really expect it to have much of a connection with APOC outside of just, like, the history of it, but we'll see. Okay, this mouse thing is confusing me greatly. I just busted up the wrong servant because I couldn't easily see the attack wheel. Okay, well, we're not killing again. I mean, maybe Blood Axe is just straight up in it, but I doubt they'll use him much, especially in like the flashback stuff. That wouldn't make any sense, but we shall see how they do it. This year, but not a specific date. Interesting. Well, that's something to look forward to. Man, we have a lot of Fate works going on. It's just I don't care about a lot of them. Like, I don't care about Fate Requiem, which is unfortunate, but it just is what it is. And then Fate Strange Fake I obviously care a lot about, but that one's very slow going. Okay. Let's maybe do 1 or 2 of these more interesting stages. Let's spice this up a bit. So strange playing on my monitor or through OBS. On my monitor and through OBS. This is very weird. Alright, how many of these do we got? Got 1, 2, I think it's probably just 4. 1 for each copy. Yep, 4. Alright. Okay, Foreigner. Alter Ego. Saber, other nonsense. Definitely AoE. Berserker, other nonsense. These might actually all be other nonsense. Let's just start at the top. Oh wait, is there something here? Nah, it's the challenge quest. And I think these let you build like the other stuff if you want to. These are so expensive, though. See ya, Cobb. Thanks for hanging out, man. Okay, Alter Ego Foreigner. Who do we want to use, chat? Doesn't have to be one of my units. It can always be someone from chats. Let's look at my roster, though. Yeah, of course you're gonna say. Although I guess, I mean, you're living up to your name, so. Darius. We just used Darius for the video. Not that it was the best setup, but also foreigner, so probably no. Was that alright? That interests me. If someone else had said Say, I would have gone with Say actually. Faker. The only Faker I know that's actually any good is Zaz, and I think he's asleep right now. By the way, Dagon is threat to humanity. So yeah, and Kiru gets to take care of it. You know what, Zigguard. We'll go with Zigguard. He doesn't get a lot of love over here. Wait a minute. Oh fuck. Shit. I haven't leveled Zigguard's skills. I've leveled his Buster up 1 to 10, but not the other ones, and it's because of QP, I think. Actually, am I missing a map for? I might be missing Saber Gems because he's not showing up here. Uh-oh. Oh no, yeah, he is. He's actually literally the top unit. Yeah, I don't have the QP. Yeah, I absolutely don't. This is the important one, but yeah, we need someone else's then. Let's see if someone's got a good Zigguard. And I like Zigguard too, so I'm not representing properly here. Look at this Cairo. Look at this Cairo with Saber Lily. Okay, real quick, I'll still look for a Zigguard, but let's see how Cairo Saber Lily does. We'll go default. Look, her stats, dude. What are these stats? Like, imagine being level 80 with those stats. Look at this. Look at this. Like, what is this? Like, what if she was level 70, this would be okay. But she's not level 70, she's level 80. What are we doing here? Like, he has 600 more attacks than her, but then he does have less health, but this does not even out for a 70 versus an 80 at all. Right, like, that's not right at all. That's why I've always said she's missing 10 levels. It's more like she's missing 9.5, but like, what the hell, dude? At least she got a good NP buff. Give her that. She'd be better as a 3-star. I completely stand by that. She'd be a better unit as a 3-star. Because then she'd get 10 more Grail levels, and then her team cost would be lower. It'd actually be a buff. If her stats stayed the same and she magically turned into a 3-star, that would be a buff. Oh, it's the kid gang. I don't like it here. Alright, so they have double attack up, so their normal card damage is gonna... We are so dead. I have no faith in Saber Lily. Look, this guy NPs every 3 turns. Double attack buff? No way. No way. Maybe if she was level 100, but even then. Kids, dude. Oh, what a great opening 2 hands we got, chat, for this difficult battle that Lily probably can't beat anyway, so we obviously need as much value as possible. What an amazing opening 2 hands we got there. Thanks, game. Alright, what do I do? Fuck! I thought that was on the 3rd skill. I haven't used her in ages. I thought that was on her 3rd skill. Oh my god, her buff was on her fucking 1st skill. Okay, but so many swear words today, by the way. Bad influence on the kids, man. Alright, round 2. I mean, we're probably going to be the ones dying here. Game, why do you gotta hurt me like this? Nothing like a Leonidas Brave Chain, am I right? Alright. And we still have an abysmal hand. Really not a good 2 attempts for her. Double crit up, double attack up. Someone is going to die. This is where she needs crit removal command codes. Maybe I don't do my second skill. Yeah, I'm gonna try to loop and then do it on the second one, because we're not gonna live long enough to cast our second skill twice anyway. Wow. Okay, we never even got to use our heal, our battery, our star bomb, our attack up, our other heal, our evade. Yeah, really need crit removal. Command codes are going to be a big help on that one. If someone's got a good Leo, I guess I got my ult account Leo. I could do that and give him command codes. I'm not sure my ult account has good command codes for him, but they actually have a high hit count. You wouldn't be terrible there. It just takes so long though. Oh my god. Yeah, we got 3 turns. Alright, let's see if there's a Zigguard. He's not going to do well here either. Actually, I think most units will get destroyed in this stage. They'll just die so fast. And some of them can do it, but they'll only if they have very specific command codes. Like if they don't have very specific command codes, they're just going to die. Yeah, I actually suspect more units can't solo this than can. Although I think there's still a decent amount that can though, for sure. Alright, no Zigguards unfortunately, but slight upgrade over Artoria there. This honestly looks hard enough that I want to give Cu a go. And single target is bad here, but it's Cu, so who cares? We'll probably use Sei just because Sei is here. Seems fair. I love Arjuna here, because I'd be game for using Arjuna for this. Wait, I feel like we haven't used Arjuna in so long. Yeah, that'd actually be awesome. Let's see if they're on for it. Alright, well I sent them a message. I'm not sure if they're available or not. Slightly more stats? Yeah, only slightly. Very, very minor stat upgrade here. Oh, we have attack removal command code. How about that? That's probably just a coincidence too. Unfortunately though, they got the crit buff. So. That's what, and he is still alive. That messes up everything. I guess I just NP. Damn. Actually, I want to attack the other one, Voyager, just to get rid of one of his attack buffs.
れこそは我が父を滅ぼす邪剣クラレントブラスト黙れ
Good. Damn, not good. I wanted that hard crit help me. My next MP. No, hit the other one. There you go. Now don't hit me in the face. Just don't do that. Not listening to me. Well, at least I looped because of that, so that's not too bad. Problem is, this is like the worst turn possible to use my defense up because I need to evade. Cat, what are the odds that I can face tank the NP with the 50% defense buff? And then is it, you know what? I guess I don't NP here. I think that's the right play. Problem is Voyager. We're just in so much trouble. There are many bad things. Too many NPs, too much normal card damage. Not enough hard survival. Get rid of that attack buff. So I guess Voyager needs to die first. What is Tam's mats? I forget. I've looked at them before. But I don't have Tam on any of my accounts. In all of my accounts, I actually have gotten at least most of the default 5 stars somewhere, but I don't think I've gotten Tam ever. Bone Zone, she needs so many. Yikes. It's never good. Okay, NP time. And then we... Third skill next turn. We need Voyager to die next turn. If we actually do that, we have a chance. Alright, kiddo. Time to send you back to space. Solid. Very solid. 106, man. We just solved. What the hell? What is that damage? Can I have a 120 Mordred now? Like, shit. Get the kid out of here. Yeah, I actually think we win because of that. We'll save the stage for a bit, though. I want to try this with a couple other characters. Man, 120s are no joke. Especially when you get those crit buffs, man. Because the higher your base attack, the more the base crit multiplier is. And then obviously if you have another, crit skill, it's super good. Let's do that. Yeah, I think we win next turn. Most likely. Maybe not. We won't have damage up stuff. No, we don't, because we crit there. And we'll have a 3 assigned bonus, extra attack, all that. Yeah, we win. Alright, let's, I don't want to give my Cu a go, and maybe say, I'd love to use like a 90 say first, then say, right? So you can really see the difference. So anybody in chat got a level 90, I even settled for an 100, but anyone got a 90 say on JP? Because I would love to show the difference. I think that'd be really cool to see. Can you imagine if it took the materials every time? Thankfully it doesn't. You got one? So oh my god, you got one of each. Yeah, I know, like, Zaw has done that with Canis. That's ridiculous. Alright, well, we'll start with the 91, and then we'll use the real big... Oh, Zaw must be up and about, so, what did he have? There was something he had that I wanted to use. What was it? Crap. What was it? Oh, Faker! Yes, yeah, right as I said that, I saw Dragon that said it, but if Faker was it, I'll remember that. No. Put the memes down. I saw that. stupid craft essence, dude. And at 120, you know, the idea would be to not have it proc in the first place, right? It's not a thing, say. It's never gonna be a thing. Alright, when do we want to throw out our second skill?
Turn
2. He's flying. I got 2 cards, I'll take that. Okay, got good command codes. Take it. Okay, my man knows what's up. This hand though, not to be confused with Say in the Fate Go universe. I'm not sure they know what's up. They think they know what's up, but they don't. Well, there's both of the attack buffs out of the way. Oh, wait a minute. Do this. I'm actually thinking maybe we want to get our first skill up just for the battery. I don't think it'd be enough battery to actually, let's see. Leonidas gives us 20. Our third skill gives us 20, so we're basically at 83%. With the first skill, that puts us at 93. Because of roundup, it's actually 94. Can I get 6 NP off of a quick card? I'm gonna say yes. So you know what? We're doing it. That's kind of weird when we look so far away, but this could work. I think we have exactly enough. I think we have exactly enough NP. We could not have been any closer there. I'm trying to do stuff! But 16 health! You know what? We shouldn't have removed his attack buffs yet. If we hadn't removed his attack buffs, he would have killed there. Zam. You gotta be kidding me, dude. Now all my skills are just gonna whiff super hard. That's so lame. Oh, that's a great command code for this, by the way. That was just a great command code in general. It's such a nice set it and forget it command code. I wish it had been added to the game sooner. Oh, the voice act. Oh, look, we're overcharging. How did that happen? Oh, my first skill was completely wasted. I don't think I do my third skill. Wait, does he go first? If he goes first, we're fine, and I can just let that hit my NP. I haven't been paying attention. I think he does. I think it goes him, Voyager, then him. I think that's how it is. Do I whiff? You know what? We'll whip it. The stars. The stars is what convinced me, because they have a crit buff. Did we hit Voyager, though? Get rid of an attack buff? Yeah. I should have been hitting Voyager, actually, that whole time. We might need a reset. This is not a fair showing of level 90, Say. I really do respect that Say Stan has a 90 Say, though. So you can see the comparison. That's kind of awesome. I had to start doing that with Cu though because 120 is just so strong that I got 3 Qs basically. I've got my 120 Cu. Actually, I have 4. I got my 120 Cu. Not 120 yet, but he will be soon if his luck permits. And then my old account has a vanilla 100 Q, right? Without all the crazy buildings. No 120. 100. And then I've got an 81, which is barely grail, but I got an 81 on, I think, the Herc account. And then I've obviously leveled to 71. So, I've got a variety there. Honestly, at this point, I don't know which one I want to kill. Maybe I just go for this one now that he's lower. And we got rid of one of the attack buffs, so I guess good enough. I want to get rid of the crit buff. Off memory, Say's NP gain is a little crap. So, it's hard to not be really quick. that because her hit count's really high, but then also they're gonna attack me if I don't do that. You know, Sei is not my kind of character in the slightest. I also think it's really stupid that Sei is a 5-star and gets so much attention in terms of like the story. She's been in like an event story after event story when she's such an obscure figure in history. But I don't like hate her, right? It's like it's a fairly anime take on the story. I guess you have the more slightly, and I mean slightly more serious third stage. So I don't like hate Sei, but it's not my cup of tea at all. So it's not like, so like if we added a Sei emote, that's not the end of the world, right? But like I'm not adding like a Mev emote. That's not happening, right? I'm not adding a Kiara emote. You know, these things are not, you know, fucking Liz? No. Maybe Mecha Liz Mach 2, but not all the other Liz's. Like, not a chance. Liz. Ugh. Alright, I'll quick up.
Put your hands up. Check it out.
Dude, that voice line, it's so jarring because it's like pretty good English. Where most English in FGO is really bad. There's a couple of voice actors in Arknights that have like very good English. And there's a lot of English in Arknights. So it's always so jarring that you're seeing all this English and all of a sudden someone has like nearly perfect English and you're like, oh crap. What was that? That's kind of cool though, when some of the Japanese voice actors actually have good English. I think isn't Medusa's voice actress, isn't she just like completely fluent in English? I'm pretty sure. Okay, I need to live one more turn and I can't. That is so disappointing. Look at this. I wonder if I should have casted a turn sooner, but then it probably wouldn't have blocked the first MP, so I guess not. Well, I kind of figured she wouldn't win at 90. The stage is actually kind of nasty. Fairly high normal fire damage with lots of crits, unless you have the command codes to get rid of it. And just a lot of NPs, so. They should not buff her second skill to be PFA. They should not do that. There's enough characters with that, and that's like their thing. If they want to buff Sei, they should buff like the offensive stuff, in my opinion. I think that's the way to do it. I kind of want to give 90 Sei one more go because that was really crappy. But we'll go 120 because I know she still can't beat it. Like we were far enough off that we wouldn't have beat it unless we got super lucky. Yeah, that's fine. Give them the same CE. Memes aside, it is best for them to have the same CE to like see the value shift. Not again. Capture card, knock it off. Should be up now? Okay. Look at this Ushi though. That's another one we could try. People starting to get 120s, man. That's like one of the only 123 stars I've seen though. Making me mad though. I've used so much SQ since the coin system's been added. Like I had so much saved up, chat. I had so much stockpiled, and I still don't have enough Cu copies. Yeah, no, Black Screen Coon. That's you gotta be an old viewer to know about that. And hey, Zaw, can you set up your Faker? People wanted to see Faker earlier, and we didn't have one worth using, so but you got one. The main thing for this stage is anti-crit, anti-attack up, and then just raw value stuff. Anti-attack with an anti-crit chance. Which doubles for what Zaw just asked, so there you go. Okay, do I try to kill Voyager first? I think we do. I think we try to kill Voyager first. Same as Mordred. Basically the same game plan as Mordred, I think. Why does her hair look like that? Also, having dyed my hair when I was younger, it's kind of a pain, and in dyeing it different colors, like, that is so much work. Like, that is so much work, because when you're applying the blue, you have to make sure it doesn't get into the areas that you're gonna apply, you know, the red, right? That's just awful. It was green. I never dyed all my hair green. I would just, like, I'd like make a strip of it, you know, green, or something like the middle of it green or something like that. I never did the full thing. But yeah, that was a long time ago. What do you mean I'm skill sealed? I'm supposed to cast evade here, game. Do I attack? No, I was gonna attack the other one just to get rid of the attack up, but we need Voyager out of here. I never got made fun of, actually. Actually, I actually got a bunch of compliments, and it actually annoyed me. I was like at that age, and it just, I don't know, it just annoyed me. Like, people would compliment it pretty often, and I was like, okay, I don't like this. Yeah, and I remember people, I had, like, people I would, like, be friends with and stuff, they would think I would dye it for the attention, so they wouldn't understand, but I absolutely did not dye my hair. You all will believe me. You guys will believe me. I did not dye my hair green for the attention. I dyed my hair green because I really like the color green. That's the only reason I did it. And then when I realized it got me a lot of attention, I didn't like it. So, and then I was getting older, and I didn't want to bother. So, but yeah, I liked the color green a lot, and I didn't give a shit about the other people. But because my hair is super dark, I had to, I'd have to bleach it first, and that made it annoying, right? That was annoying that I had to bleach it first. And then you have to use like conditioner so your hair doesn't get fucked up and everything, so it's just too much of a hassle. But for a good while, I had like a strip of my hair green, like the middle of my hair was green. There's no reason for me to dye my hair green now. Like, I just, there's no reason. Like, I'm older, my hair is insanely short most of the time. Like, with my hair is just so short most of the time that, and actually, I need to cut it today. I was probably gonna do that. There's just, like, there's nothing to, like, what are you gonna dye, right? Like, my hair is super, super short. Hey, Cairo, what's up? Don't just say things. How about that network test though, Cairo, that we got to play together, right? We gotta enjoy some, you know, team versus team content, right? What a good time that was. Alright, well, I think I saved my, wait, do I save my second skill? Can I loop? I think I can loop. So we'll save it, and we'll save the attack up. Do big NPJ next turn. I mean, a couple of people, myself included, got to beat the tutorial. The few people that got come all the way through to the base stuff, they actually made it to where they could see rooms. He said there were not enough players in the game to actually, like, do anything. So, no one got to play a match. Because only, like, out of the first network test, like 6,000 people tried to log in at the same time, it didn't work. And I thought the second network test was even better because it was super late at night, but even more people tried to log in. But out of all of those people, like 5 or 6 people it looked like actually made it all the way into the game, and they didn't make it in at the same time. So there was just no way for anybody to do anything. Alright, we can NP next turn no matter what. This guy's got so many buffs, I kind of need to do something about that, but Voyager's gotta die or we're screwed. He needs to die next turn. Please don't kill me. Well, we got an evade still, so we should not die this way. That was pretty silly though when we got Yeah, we used your saber early, Pyro, and she got 1 turn. She got like triple crit and just instantly died. Yeah, they said thanks for playing, and like no one got to play. Yeah, they needed the test, absolutely, and their servers sucked, so. This is going so much better though than the other run. Our damage is so much higher. We've also gotten luckier. We've gotten significantly luckier how things have gone. Like the 90s say in this context would have done better. Not this good, but the question is, do I need... I got faith. Say Stan has put so much work into this unit, surely it can do 197k at neutral. We've got quick up, double attack up, crit chances, 3 of a kind bonus. Like we have so much in our favor here. There's no way Say doesn't do this. Legend, thank you for the 21 months, dude. Is that what is? What even is that expression? Is that cat judging me? Is that what that is? Okay, that was a little bit closer than I would have liked, but we got it. And the extra attack was a good bit of overkill. I don't think the other Say could have made this work where we could take the evade like this. They wouldn't have killed Voyager in time. And like Voyager would have killed us. And if I evaded, we would have died into the kids NP. So yeah, I don't think the 91 could do it. Maybe on a really lucky run. Maybe on a really lucky run where like you don't have that Leonidas tomfoolery. You get your MP nice and quick. You crit when you need to crit. Maybe you could just barely do it at 90. But it does not seem reliable. And even then, I don't know. It might not work at all. Like, the 120 is just so much stronger. It's such a significant damage increase. Alright, we'll do one of the other stages in a second, but I want to do at least one more, like with Ushi, and maybe Mike too. Oh, and Faker too. We gotta do Faker. Although we could do Faker on a different stage. It doesn't have to be this one. This actually was pretty close, but we win now because even if we didn't kill here, we got evade. So we've won. They got it. Alright, so Faker, Ushi, Cu is what I'm wanting to see here. But I think if you zip the app, just costs 0 AP. This is such a strong Ushi. Unfortunately, single target is really disadvantaged here, but I'm still interested to see how she does. So, Say Stan, what's the next best unit after Say? And don't say Berserker Say. That doesn't count. Like some alternate versions of characters are super different, but that one's not. Like that one is not. Can Ushi get away with killing Voyager? Yeah, we can kill Voyager in time. Wait, she's single target, so why couldn't she? Bad opening hand though. Also, wrong crit removal buff. You need the other one. Do I NP here? I think I do. I think I save my second skill, but I do my first skill. Yeah, that's pretty good. Do we have a good Localante? Is she applicable to one of the other stages? Because we could just use her on one of the other stages. So. I think Atalante might have a bad time with the enemy crit. They don't crit though, they don't do too much damage. I guess I need to evade next turn. Really like to get my MP here. Yeah, the Buster one should probably be something different. The Buster one needs to be attack removal or something like that. But, you're never going to do the Buster before the NP, I don't think. Damn, I don't like this crit spread. I gotta do the quicks. This sucks. I have to rely on their the quicks just have the command codes that I need, so I need them to get hit me with a good hit. Uh-oh. Well, being a writer did not help, but that was very unlucky. Like if she had just lived that turn, she could have lived quite a few more turns because we had double evade. But yeah, writers have a tough time. That song is from Dead Cells. It's either Temple or The Temple. I don't remember which one. But just Dead Cells Temple OST, you'll find it. And no offense to Hades, but Hades does not have a song that is that much of a banger. Like, Hades has a good atmospheric soundtrack, but I don't think Hades has any bangers. That's if I have a gripe about Hades, it's the soundtrack. Not that the soundtrack is bad, right? It's just nothing really stands out, right? Like you know, it's just kind of there. Which kind of sucks because Bastion had some bangers. And what was their other game? Transistor. That had some bangers in it. Yeah, I feel like Hades kind of dropped the ball. Overall, though, I do like that dev. They make good games. They make finished games. They make unique stuff. You know, Bastion was great. Hades is great. Transistor wasn't really my cup of tea, but it still made very well. So yeah, I really like that dev. Yeah, the final boss theme is all right, but even that, I don't. It's not something I'd really want to put on like my playlist. I have one song from Hades on my playlist, and I barely put it on there. And it's the fight with like Asterios. Fight with Asterios. I put that one on there. But it barely made the cut, and every time I hear it, I question if I actually want it on the playlist or not. Great game though. Hades is an amazing game. I'm not. It's just the music I think it's better. But it's a phenomenal game. It's super fun. Let's do the same thing as last time. We really do need better command codes though. These aren't very helpful. See, this is a banger. This song is also older than a lot of people in my chat. But it's I don't know, maybe not. It might be like right when they were really, really young. Actually, even though I'm actually surprised I never knew about this game. I wish this song is from Gotcha Force, not Gotcha Force. I wish I had known about this game because it was on GameCube, and I had GameCube, and I loved GameCube. And it was exactly the kind of game I would have loved as a kid, or as a teenager even. And I just didn't know about it. I played other games that were similar to it, but I just never knew it existed. If I had known it existed, I would have played it. But it's like a I can't do it justice quickly, but it's like a 3D brawler. It's kind of like Gundam vs. Gundam, but way older, and in some ways way better, honestly. A lot more freedom, and a lot more variety in the units you can use. And yeah, it's definitely a game I would have loved to death. And I played Custom Robo on GameCube, and that's kind of similar but more top-down. But from what I've seen of it, Gotcha Force looks so much better than Custom Robo. And like, I liked Custom Robo. I'm not hating, but Gotcha Force looks like it's just better than Custom Robo. But alas, I had no idea it existed because we didn't really have the internet when I was young. I'm not kidding, like the internet was so underdeveloped back then. Games were very word of mouth and such, so just didn't have a lot of marketing. Never knew about it. Like chat, you would actually have to find out about a lot of games through like a commercial, stuff like that. It was hard to get information. Like, don't one-turn me. They just have too many buffs. Like we're gonna get crit. Like these still have all of their crit buffs. I never removed one. Like I attacked here. This is like the best I can do to not die. So this gets rid of as many buffs as possible. Don't tell me, you little shit. I actually suspect if we had not debuffed him, we would have died. Because he would have had significantly more crit chance, like significantly more. Because he would have had another crit up buff. And he had another attack up. I think we were pretty likely to die there. Alright, at least we get a good turn here though. This is what we were lacking last time. Oh many crit buffs on these bastards. Yeah, well, Ivan, I bet you wrecks this stage even though he's there's no 3-go. The only reason he might fail is because of the 3-go, but I think he can handle it. You can use Rivers of Blood, Ziggy, at a fairly low level if you get all the rings for it, but you're still probably correct that he is probably not level 50. I want to play Elden Ring so bad today. I want to have like a nice long Elden Ring stream where I'm just chilling and playing. But today's Friday, so I shouldn't even be streaming now. So I probably won't. I'll probably do it tomorrow. But it is what it is. I have to somehow live another turn. I don't think that's going to happen, so I think we just evade now and then try to kill Voyager next turn. She's struggling a bit more than I thought she would. I wonder how 100 Face does in comparison. Maybe I go for NP game. That's a long shot, but if I get my NP, it's worth it. We don't have our NP game buff anymore, unfortunately. Oh yeah, I mean I've beaten Elden Ring at level 9, so like you can do it. You can absolutely get Rivers of Blood on a very low level character, but yeah, most likely he did not get shit. Okay, I actually am going to use the Buster here because we really need to make sure he dies. Unfortunately, we die here, but if I can kill one of them, we at least have that. Honestly, I didn't find it very hard to beat Elden Ring against level with a +0. Like, that was the big thing, I had a +0, because most base level stuff was not +0, but I didn't find it very hard, and it's because normally when I do low level stuff in like Dark Souls or you know, games like that, I don't cheese anything. I try to like fight it with just skill, right? But I dislike Elden Ring's PvE so much, I pretty much use anything at my disposal outside of like exploits, but like I would, you know, use spirit summons if I thought it was applicable, or I would use consumables, but I would do whatever would give me an advantage, and it actually made it pretty easy. Like a lot of that stuff, even with a +0, it's pretty easy to like use things in the game to just absolutely destroy the bosses, so. Okay, let's do Faker and Coo. But we really should switch stages, because it's not like this is that interesting of a stage, to be honest. Alright, where be Faker? Extra slot, I would think. Black Grail, huh? That's not what I was expecting, but I guess that does work on her pretty well. Default makes sense. Canis will destroy this. There's no question. Canis will destroy this. Like that's just that. I mean, I guess it's funny to show off how much better Canis would be for this stage. This is exactly Canis's kind of stage. Because there's 2 enemies, not 3s, and the single target aspect of her does really well, and then obviously the AoE still does really well. Like, this is exactly the kind of stage Canis will obliterate. Like, Mordred beat it, so, and Canis is definitely the better solo unit between the two, so. Now, level 80 would be tough. That would be tough, especially in P1. Like, if it was level 80 in P3, I'd be like, okay, this might have a shot. Do I NP right now? Not a great hand, but I think I do NP right now. Let's hope for a good hand next time.
悪くないな。ああ。偽り任せておけ。
We do need to use Virtue. I keep saying we're gonna need Tester run stuff and we just don't.
恩義の宝を借り受け。通輪しろ。ヘカティックホイール。
I wish today wasn't Friday. Hard for me to stream on. Like I said, I shouldn't even be streaming on Fridays. I don't really sleep much, and the dog and stuff wipes me out. So we'll get to it. Like, it'll happen. I need to level 9 up because of advanced quests. I can't use friends units in advanced quests. That's a really good reason. I just need QP. Okay, she already like just deleted the welfare little shit, so pretty sure she's got this in spades. Yeah, he's like dead. Okay. Oh, no, not quite, not quite. I do 23k. I'd like to do it with this one because we get the NP up and then we target switch. But we might need the crit. Let's see, we have Buster up, attack up. They have Buster resist down. We do counter class damage. But we're only level 90. Oh, so I could do Buster NP. That's the safer thing, or even Buster with. This is a half-ass thing to do, but it's so much safer, and I don't use that that much. And there is a mistake. It's not that bad though, because we still get the overkill bonus to charge in. I didn't believe. We don't need much for it. We get it wrong, it doesn't hurt me too bad. I forgot about this. Why did people want to see Faker? I totally forgot that foreigners do that to them. I blame Lost for this. Yeah, he just wanted to see Faker die. I completely forgot. We sucked though, because we could have done better than that, because I still had to evade. Plus we got one turn with our defense buff though. Yeah, I totally forgot foreigner does that. Wow, that's disappointing. I completely blame Lost for that one. I'm just sad we didn't get one more turn, like we would have had some good stuff there. Alright, what's available here? There's the Canis. Oh, say, I missed your answer when you said what your next favorite unit was after say, what's best after say. I completely missed that. Unfortunately, that Virtue is no good. That Virtue is no good and not on our friends list. Bin K, yeah, right. Karna probably can do this actually. Well, I don't know. No survivability. Close. First of all, can probably do this. Dragon Lolly can do this. Okay, there's a Virtue. I don't expect Virtue to fail this. Seem like her cup of tea. She's not that strong. Say, oh, shut up. That doesn't count. Actual answer is Pinfall. That's unique. I'm not sure I've ever seen someone put. I see plenty of people that like Pimp, but I don't really ever see anyone put Pimp in like their top like 3, let alone number 1, something like that. I don't ever see that. I blame Argartha because Argartha Pimp doesn't act anything like Pimp actually acts. And most people don't even know that. That was such a problem with Argartha. All the antagonists are like super crazy warped and act really insane. Alright, long mouth. Dual-wielding mice is not the easiest thing. That's a gun for Voyager. Oh great, we have no command codes. Also, oh god, it's stage 3 Vertra. I wish we got like full-grown Pimp. But we're probably never gonna do that. Do I include here? I think so. Stage 3 Virtua is a little much. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Okay, he actually died. Yeah, we had someone in chat that said Pimp is their favorite, so that's the first person I've ever seen that Pimp is their favorite. I don't know. Oh, it is. For some reason I thought it was 20, not 30. I'm glad it's 30. Command codes make such a difference here. We would look how hard they're gonna hit me because I haven't removed any buffs. I'm about to like melt. Hey boy, I need to take a nap. I normally do take a nap on Fridays when I have to wake up early and the shots I get make me tired, but I did not today, and I am regretting it. What I find though is when I take a nap, it fucks up my sleep schedule for the rest of the week. It makes me like sleep later than I want to. Evade. Maybe I shouldn't have healed there, we'll see. This is a pretty awesome MP. That's really badass looking. It's weird that she doesn't do better, but I mean, one, she's only 90 and no command code, so she's less upgraded than basically everything we use. But on paper, she seems so good, right? She has damage up, good visibility, and some decent survivability. But I find when we generally test her, her performance is just okay. She never, like, does horrible. It's not like she's, like, you know, crap or anything, but I feel like she needs just maybe an NP buff or something, just a little bit more punch. But really, we do often use her when she's pretty vanilla, and her competition is normally not vanilla at all. Like they're using command code, level 100, info, and that kind of thing. However, 5 stars also gain the least when you do that, so the gap is not as big. But she's closer to like that performance than say a 3-star would be. Alright, that was very lucky that Guts didn't go off there. That was super lucky. That's not removing the attack buffs and stuff. So this is going to be one of the best runs we can get. Unfortunately, I think that dot's going to ruin us. Might do. Remind me next stream. I don't know if I have time to get to everything today. But I'll definitely would like to use a stronger Virtua. So next time I stream, if you could remind me. You know, we should test that, Dragon. Or maybe next year we'll do that. We'll do some arguments like that, and we'll find a stage that is fair for them all. I suspect Fionn would do better than her. If we used an upgraded Fionn, so he was like in the same power range as her, I think he would do better. He just has I think more going for him. This is a decently hard stage to solo, though. I mean, there's a reason most of the units have done it, or like 120s, or units that are extremely good for this stage. They do AP a lot. There's a lot of health to deal with in this. But I think a lot of units you're going to see a performance kind of like we just saw here. Made it over halfway, though, at least. So, chat, I feel like we are about to have a hell of a dead week on FGO because we've already seen everything this event has to offer, right? There's nothing new coming. And this event lasts for like another 2 weeks. So, might be a good time to play like the Steno account or the co-op account or something like that because I have a feeling we ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Probably a good time to play Elden Ring too. Yeah, I'll probably stream Elden Ring quite a bit tomorrow. I've been annoyed that I haven't been able to sit down and play it a lot on stream. So I'll try to do that soon. God, the 1 to 3 star account, it needs to grind so much. That's the problem with that one. Let me BRB real quick. I need to grab some water. And then let's give Cu a go because the single target people have done incredibly badly here. So we'll see how Cu does. I legitimately don't know which boss Cu should attack first, because normally, if I was doing single target here, I know they're not winning, so you try to kill Voyager first, so he never NPs. So in the short term, you don't have to deal with as many NPs. But when if you're going to live long enough and actually deal with them both potentially, leaving the one with a 3 NP tick up is way worse in the long run. So I'm actually not sure which one to attack, and I think which one you go with might even be based on which one has a higher hit count. You keep going with a higher hit count alive. By the way, I got a peanut butter snack and it's delicious. Alright.
Yeah.
Command code. Let's see here. Definitely want at least 1 crit removal. So I guess just this one. This is too good to pass up. There is a crit damage up buff here. It's not used often, but event's okay. It basically, excuse me, this style of event is generally my least favorite event. It's kind of just glorified dailies with the challenge quest at the end. And generally I don't like these at all. But Lasagna has honestly made this style of event a bit better than DW did, right? Like, there is a bit, the main story bosses at the end are a bit harder. There's a few side bosses. It's a little bit better. So I still don't really like it, but it's not as bad as typical. And I don't even know how I feel about the challenge quest because I rushed out that video so fast. That's why it's so bad, like such a bad video, that I haven't really sat down and looked at it, so I don't even know. But you know, it's just, you know, it's kind of boring. It's just a lot of dailies. You know, you're doing, it's mostly grinding. There's very little in the way of boss fights and stuff. The challenge quest doesn't really have a gimmick. It's mainly, well, no, I mean, it does. Like, effects happen when you break their bars. Like, the Yuri pirates get sure hit and crit up. Stuff like that. But the main thing is just they have a lot of health in total, because it's so many units and they all have break bars, and the break bars might make it awkward to get your damage in. And like the total amount of health is like, you know, like 2 million or something, and it's really high. And a lot of them have survivability skills, like evades and invulnerability, that kind of stuff. But basically when you break their bars, they gain an effect. Each unit gains an effect. So it's pretty mild on the gimmicks, but it's just lots of stats. I haven't done it enough with budget setups to know, but I suspect it's actually really hard for budget. They can't trivialize AoE fights like that. They can't do NP refund looping like you can with Castoria and Scatty. You can't do that. So that kind of stuff's actually super hard. But I didn't do it enough to have an educated opinion. I kind of just rushed out something. It was a pretty sloppy team too, so a lot of room for improvement on that one. I'm normally pretty proud of my videos. I'm not proud of that one. It's not a good setup. I mean, it's not a terrible setup. I mean, it works, but it's using like rarer stuff that it really needs to use, and it's not optimized. I know I could optimize that team and like get more value out of it. I just didn't have time. Do I want another attack removal or do I want damage? I'm thinking damage. Maybe just Gilgamesh. Yep, alright. One thing I like about doing AoE challenge quests like that though, with more budgety setups, where you're not using Scatty and Waver or Castor or anything like that, so you're not just blowing the enemies up, you get to see your team gets to NP a lot, right? It's gonna be a longer fight, you get to use a lot of your units' NPs, and so do the enemies, right? If you're not using super strong supports and just blowing them up really fast, you know, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of the enemy NPs, so their effects matter for single target AoE. The twins have, you know, sure hit and armor ignore, that's, you know, super annoying to deal with. But it's just kind of fun that like their team gets to NP a lot, your team gets to NP a lot, and it's just kind of a fun like back and forth. I really liked that in Summer 3, the Summer 3 challenge quest. I love the Summer 3 challenge quest. That was it was really hard, but still reasonable. It's very rare that these strike that balance. Yeah, this is okay. Sumo, it's fine. Alright, off we go. Yeah, it probably is harder than the Summer 3 because of like them getting Pierce and Vulnerability on an AoE NP, the twins having Pierce and Vulnerability, Orion and Artemis gaining Invulnerability. That's pretty annoying on a budget team. Now, again, you're doing like Edmund, Scatty bullshit or whatever, it's not that bad, but for budgety stuff, that's pretty bad. Like Ryoma having Pierce and Vulnerability when you break the bar and being AoE, that is really tough to deal with. That's very, very nasty. But then as backup, you still have a single target Pierce and Vulnerability NP as well, right? Not as threatening, but still a problem. Summer 3 was the front row was Frankenstein, Nobu, and I think Helena. When you broke their bars, they turned into their summer versions. Nobu instant charged your NP and used it. I think Frankenstein debuffed you, right? And then the back row had like Nero in it and Artoria. I don't remember the entire lineup. But yeah, that was Summer 3. I don't think Taiga was there. It was only people that had summer versions. And like, you would start in their normal version. And when you broke their bar, they would turn into their summer version. Do I NP? By NP, I'm compelled to do Guts, but then I'm almost positive Guts will wear off before it would proc. I could NP without it. Okay, this is what's messed up, is this really matters on Cu, right? You want to get value everywhere you can. Obviously in a solo, that's the point. So the ideal time to use Cu's Guts is you cast it with the NP turn. That way the NP gets the attack up, and because you did quick, you now have crits, and the next turn has the attack up with the crits. That's a really good combo. The problem here is I don't even have my quick cards, right? And then I'd be casting the Guts earlier than normal. So that's a lot of... I think I'm gonna pretend... I don't know though, it's... I think I NP and I don't cast Guts. That's super weird, but I think that's what I do. That's kind of frustrating because you want to use it so it comes back, but I think this is the right thing to do. Yeah, when most people think Taiga Challenge Quest, they think of Gofek. Now, she's not technically the main boss there because they didn't really have a main boss. But she was pretty much always the one you would kill last, and she's the one that would, like, murder you. So, but I know some people killed Nobu last. I know that was a thing. I can't even remember why, but I know some people would kill Nobu last. I think killing Taiga last, though, is absolutely the way to go. I think I Guts next turn. Now that's making me cast Guts later than I normally would, which makes me a little iffy, but do I don't know, this is tough. Yeah, I'll do it next turn. Yeah, the Taiga Challenge Quest is a nasty one. That's not an easy one. I like it though, it's pretty fun. There's a bit too much RNG in it, but there is also a lot of decisions, so... Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get our NP, but I think we still cast it there. I need to start getting rid of those crit buffs, even though I'm incentivized not to use this Buster card, but I think I'd do it regardless. Yeah, that does kind of sound like Kirby. But he seems to be scripted to do NP up there, I've noticed. This is why I didn't have to worry about the turn order. I've heard the new Kirby game's good. I normally don't care about Nintendo games, but might try that at some point. Maybe when it's cheaper. I don't know if I'd want to buy it at full price. Okay, I want to attack Voyager to get rid of his stuff, but man, maybe I should have put anti-crit on Quick. But I think I have to do the Quick here. Quick Chain's too good for the stars. So chat, and all your time playing FGO, what are some challenge quests that really stand out to you as being a pain in the butt? In terms of just difficulty, like, even if you like them, but like what was a pain in the ass for you, right? Because there's been a lot of challenge quests, people have different accounts with different pros and cons. So I'm kind of interested in what's fucked some of y'all up. Can I do 38k with a really undamagey combo? I'm gonna try it. I want that overkill bonus with the crits. Well, I'm gonna... Yeah, I mean, it worked. I didn't get a lot of overkill bonus, but that worked. Taiga when I was trying to run budget. I can see that. That's a tough one. What else we got? King of Son. Yeah, King of Son was really tough back in the day. The rerun made it pretty easy, but Jesus, it was so fucked up before that. One of the most unbalanced ones they've done, actually. It was just so unreasonable for budget. What else we got here? A lot of people saying Taiga. I'm seeing lots of Taiga here. Oh, the clown one. Yeah, the clown one's pretty tough too. Another more King of Son. More Taiga. Wow, I didn't realize. Chad, I should have made more Taiga videos. I didn't. That stage has been available so many times, and I've done it every time. But I'm like, yeah, I've already got a video, so like I don't make a video for it. I absolutely should have made more videos for Taiga. I should have asked you all this sooner. That would have been like a more useful video series if I made a bunch of different ones there. Shit. That's pretty overwhelmingly. Oh, Shadow Knights of the Round Table. That's a good pick. That is. Has NA done that yet? I'm not sure. I think they have. Here's the thing though about the Knights of the Round Table. They're not that hard to cheese. Right? They're utter bullshit to do budget, right? I think that's one of the bullshittiest bullshit things that they've ever required you to do as budget. Well, I don't know. It is bullshit. Maybe not the bullshittiest. There's worse. There is worse. But it's bullshit for budget, right? But it's actually really easy for non-budget. It's really easy for non-budget. Like you can blow it up really easy with like Arjuna Ulthar stuff and Merlin stuff. So in the right context, it's completely absurd. But for most players, it's probably not that bad. Yeah, I think the reason Taiga is so tough is because she is tough for budget. She's not as tough. Taiga's challenge quest is absolutely not as tough for budget as the Shadow Knights of the Round Table. However, it's much harder to cheese just in general, and there's just a lot of weird stuff to think about, right? Yeah, I should have made more. I feel bad now because we've had so many chances to do the Taiga challenge quest. And I've done it with like Fionn, and I've done all kinds of silly setups, but I never made another video for it. And I did Percival recently, right? I used Percival, destroyed it. Holy shit! Yeah, I used him because JP got to do it again like just a little while ago, like really recently, and Percival just obliterated it. Like he was so good in that fight. And it's awkward though because Art isn't as good as Quick there, but it didn't matter. Like it just he was so none of my units even died. Not a single unit died. Chat, I think Cu is probably going to beat this stage. It's funny because a lot of units are failing this, and then the single target people especially are having a bad time. But I'm pretty sure Cu's got this. Well, we'll see. Maybe Voyager like crits the hell out of me here. We don't have it in the bag, but it's looking favorable for us. Ooh, that was close though. That was super close. Good thing I healed earlier. Although we could probably still win even if we had lost guts there. Let's be greedy. Oh, the music's looping. Good song though. We'll let the song finish before we That was actually meta of Voyager because once Guts, and he can only attack me once anyway, right? So you might as well buff. I haven't even used Atlas yet, so this actually isn't as close as it may seem. Cu kinda good, I don't believe. Chad, do y'all remember? I feel like it's died down so much, but do y'all remember when there was just so many people that actively tried to shit on Cu and say he wasn't very good, and that everyone saying he's a good budget unit to level is like screwing over budget players? Do y'all remember that? That used to be really active. I used to see that all the time, where people would try to tell people that he's like not good for budget players. And then but what was funny is I remember this very clearly. When people would say that, it was never from people that did budget stuff. It was never from people that did budget stuff. there was like this guy on Reddit, I remember, that was like so dedicated to constantly saying Coo's not very good. But he never did budget stuff, he never put his money where his mouth was on anything. All of the players that get in there and do budget stuff and like make videos and stuff, they're all like, oh yeah, Coo's really good. Like all the time. I don't think I've ever seen one of those people ever be like, Coo's bad, right? But that doesn't really happen anymore. I feel like I still see it a little bit. I still see a little bit of people of saying that Coo's bad, but it's very rare now. Most people, I don't think are gonna say that anymore. It's stupid. Like even before his last buff, the things he had accomplished, even at 70, were just ridiculous. So it's like, how are you gonna say he's bad? And then they buffed him, so it's like, okay, now what are you gonna do, right? It's silly. Are there seriously still some people, like, how? He's like, his damage is good, too. That's what's weird. People act like he has bad damage when he, he's a budget unit, right? And out of all, not just 3 stars, 1 to 3 stars, so all budget Lancers, he has the highest attack stat. And he has a good attack up skill that lasts 3 turns. There's no world where, and he has an upgraded NP. And Quick also does the most damage on upgraded NPs. So there's just no world where his damage is bad. Like there isn't. And we've seen it on my 70 Cu, on my old accounts where I use 70 Cus. He still throws out some of the better damage that those accounts have, right? Like on the 1 to 3 star account, he carries the shit out of us. That's not a coincidence, right? That's not a coincidence. Like, it's because he just has like the most value. He does good damage and lives forever and counters debuffs. So I don't get where people say he's bad. Like what are the, like, who if he says his damage is bad, what low star Lancer does more damage than him? If they say Baldy, don't they? That's what it is, isn't it? And they're so fucking wrong about that because I've used Baldy and Kairo's used Baldy and all the other budget players don't use Baldy because he's never good enough. Have you noticed that? Like the JP low star guy that does like, he uses super insane craft essences, but he sticks to low star servants all the time. You got Rusty Hearts, right? Does super budgety stuff. There's some other ones out. None of them use Baldy because he sucks, right? I hate to say it because I love the man, but he fucking sucks. And like me and Cairo use him all of the time, and he's just shit. His damage is super random, and even when he finally gets it, it's not that good to make up for the billions of turns of preparation that he needs. And then it's just so inconsistent. Like there's Cu, pound for pound, does more damage than him. It's not even close. It should be, but it's not. The thing is, people bring up buff removal, but that's stupid. How? Everyone gets wrecked by buff removal except for like 4 units in the entire game. That's not a con. That's just the game. That's like, oh wow, you got Buster crit by Pearson vulnerability because the boss has a Pearson vulnerability and armor ignore gimmick for 20k. Yeah, that's gonna counter most things. Like, yeah, no kidding. Buff removal counters basically every unit in the game. Even the few units that have it, buff removal resistance, a lot of times don't have enough uptime on it for it to always matter. And then even if they do, a lot of times their class is not applicable to the stage and all kinds of stuff. So buff removal gets it, everybody. But what's funny is, and I know this because I've been playing the game for so long, Cu does better against buff removal than most people. Ask Cairo. Ask Cairo what happens to Baldy against a buff removal boss. You're dead. I mean, your buffs removed, and then you can't loop anymore. You're just completely dead in the water, right? What you do with Cu is you just space out your buffs, and no individual one of your buffs is so important that it matters too bad if you get buff removed. Because if the boss buff removes you, at least they didn't attack there. Right, Cu's wrecked a bunch of bosses that have buff removal. Like a bunch of bosses that have buff removal. And you just gotta space your buffs out. Baldy can't do that. Like what's Baldy gonna do, right? Baldy's gameplay inherently makes him stack all of his buffs. And then they get removed and you're completely dead. You're just completely dead. Where if Cu gets his buffs removed, like okay, well now I cast Guts. Hey Fino, how you doing? Thank you for the raid, dude. But yeah, I stand by this. 95% of the cast gets wrecked by buff removal, right? So it's not much of a con if a unit is bad against buff removal, because everybody's bad against buff removal. But then out of that 95% of units that are bad against buff removal, Cu does better than most people. Because he's one of the units that has the easiest time spacing out his buffs, so only like one thing gets removed, and it's not that bad. Where like Baldi, it's just, I mean, it is game over if you get buffed removed at any point, right? Where there's loads of turns where it's like, oh, I was face tanking with my health on this turn anyway, and because you can be kind of reactionary with Cu and wait to cast some of your stuff until you need it, which is what I've been doing on this stage, right? And yeah, it's fun. I mean, look how much better Cu's doing in this stage than like fucking everyone else we're using, right? Like, no offense to Ushi or anything, but you know, Ushi got absolutely obliterated in comparison to this. And Ushi is actually more upgraded than the Cu is. I haven't even used Atlas, right? I have not even cast Atlas. And I probably don't need to. I might use it anyway just because, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna win before it's applicable. But yeah, watch them buff Cu again, dude. I'll lose my mind. Like, buff Hector, man. Buff Romulus. Buff Baldi. You know, those are the... Taiga. Buff Taiga. That's one that definitely uses it. Yeah, I feel like people have to, like, scrounge for scraps to try to come up with something that makes Cu bad. And then, in practicality, it's not actually bad. So, yeah, the boss is dead. We're probably just going to kill it right here. I never even used Atlas. Although, funnily enough, the timing didn't really work out where it mattered. So I could have just done default and had the attack up, which would have been better. I've been finding as Cu's stats get higher, that kind of happens more and more. Yeah, Cu's got a lot of attack up right now. It's not quite 50%, but it's close. Yeah, boss dead. Okay, we'll zeep the app there. We should really move on to a different stage. But maybe we try a few more single target units, because we were mostly using AoE. And this is a lot more interesting with single target, because they have to go through like 1,000,000 HP at neutral, and then all the crit buffs and whatnot, so it's more of a value check for them. Although a lot of the AoE units actually failed too, which was kind of surprising. Like, and look, I'm a big Cu fan, right? I really like Cu, but I gotta stress this, I like a lot of characters in Fate, and I especially like Lancers. So even though Cu is my favorite Fate character, I don't like that Cu is the Lancer that they keep buffing for the budget ones, right? And they just keep ignoring Baldi and Taiga and all that. It sucks, right? Like we can buff all of these things, right? You can buff the other Lancers too. That would be great. All right, let's do another single target neutral unit here. If we see the twins, we'll all right, there we go. There's the twins right there. All right, we'll use them. It's kind of fun to you know what? If Otto's here, we'll compare them to the new the sisters. We'll see how that goes. Default or Atlas? I'm leaning towards default. Are they 2K FO'd? Let me see. Yes, okay, so they're very upgraded. This is a very, very strong twins here. I think default. I think they're gonna want the heal. Yeah, actually, Hurt might struggle because of the Foreigner. Although Hurt's beat some nasty Foreigner bosses before, actually. If it was just a Foreigner, he could definitely do it. If it was Hurt v Voyager, he got it. But because of the extra 400k there, I'm not sure. And there's the dots and all that as well. Although I guess it's not that hard for Hurt to bring command codes to counter that. The twins aren't bad at soloing. They're not bad at soloing. They're just not like amazing. But they're actually better at soloing than quite a few other Lancers out there, just because their damage output is so high. And every once in a while, there's a stage where it's burst or get out, right? Like there's sometimes just bosses where they just shut down like stall kits so hard that it bursts. And a lot of times, those bosses have less health, and so the twins actually do really well. Because I've actually seen them perform super well before. Like, yeah, they don't keep up with like Cu, Kama, even Luvia, they don't, the Enkidu, the big boys, right? They don't normally keep up with that kind of stuff. But I found when you compare them to the other 5-star Lancers, like Masashi, Okita, stuff like that, they keep up just fine, and sometimes beat them. I've been finding recently, because I've actually tested them a lot, because sabers are kind of cool, they have fun gameplay. I have found that Okita and Masashi are basically tied, and they have minor apples and oranges with each other. in terms of soloing and team play. I think Okita might be a little bit favored in team play. It kind of depends. That's so apples and orange because at that point the supports and everything. But I find Okita and Masashi are almost dead tied like all the time. It's ridiculous. Where with the twins, I don't know. I need to use them a bit more, I guess. But I feel like they're normally a little bit behind on average, but then occasionally they pull ahead. That has kind of been my experience. But I have definitely used the twins less than I've used Masashi and Okita and Sitting Master and that kind of thing. Okay, not the best opening hand, but definitely not the worst. We've seen so much worse today. I see some people say that Masashi's not good in team play, but I don't know what on earth they're talking about. Like, buff removal's good. Her NP gain from her first skill is great. I just pierce invulnerability, lots of damage. She has some of the highest damage on an NP you can get. She has niches. Also, bloody skill seals. Leonidas taking every card. Oh no, chat, the app's crashing. Chat, you know that squiggly line thing that happens? Oh no, it destabilized F-Go. I gotta start over. That was so bad. We got skill sealed on the only turn that I don't want to get skill sealed, and then Leonidas got every single card. That's just stupid. Real stormy weather, yeah, that was yesterday. That was insane, actually. Or the day before, I think it was. Conveniently timed app crash, yeah. I could have closed the app, but the setup is so easy to close apps now. I love it. I can just click my middle mouse button and I can close an app. It's great. Okay, well, worse opening hand than the previous one, but I mean, quick chain could sometimes result in good things. Hopefully, Ace has got. I don't think Ace is here right now, but hopefully he happens to have an attack removal command code or a crit removal. But anyway, back on the Cu topic for a second. I just find almost any con people come up with for why Cu's bad applies to basically every unit he's in competition with, and it affects his competition more. Right, like, what budget Lancer isn't affected by buff removal, right? And like, who's affected by it less because he can spread his buffs out. So like, I mean, I can't. Even Hector gets wrecked by it more, right? Like, there's no budget Lancer or even Berserker that doesn't get wrecked by buff removal. So it's like, how is that even a point? Okay, not a great hand, but. We keep quick chaining and not actually having cards to crit with, but... I got that Google Doc that was really stuck on... It wasn't just that Hans wasn't good, it was specifically that if you're free-to-play, you shouldn't level Hans. And he wasn't a free-to-play player, though. That was what was funny. That is the worst... Like, that whole Google Doc is full of so much bad advice for a free-to-play new player. I could not recommend it less, aside from laughing at it. But yeah, that is a really bad Google Doc for a new player. It's not good. I've seen a lot of people. No, it's not just today. I have seen people in the past. That's why I'm talking about this. I've seen plenty of people in the past bring up buff removal for Cu. It's like, because they can't think of anything else. Okay, we don't have our NP, which is unfortunate. I don't think I cast anything then. I think we just have to... Fuck, they have all of their buffs. And I don't have anything to remove any of it. This is not a... Did anyone else in chat have the twins? Because I need somebody in chat with the twins, because everyone else we've tested today, except for Virtua, has had decent command codes. And actually, these are decent command codes. They're just not applicable to what we're doing. So they're just gonna explode. Like, oh, let's see if Ziggy does. We'll go with that. They're just gonna get eaten alive here. Like, we might even get one turn if we get, like, triple quick here. Okay, at least that was a quick attack, so that was actually kind of pathetic. Dude, I guess Lily got unlucky. Lily got stupid unlucky, because she got one turn. She must have been, like, triple buster crit or something. It was like how little damage that quick crit did. Yeah, Lily must have just gotten really stupid RNG there. We should have given her another go then. Okay, at least we get to sync up our survival skill at like the perfect moment, so that's actually not so bad. And hell, we even get our debuff immunity for the dog.
空にて輝くもの
I don't know, maybe they're gonna impress us here. Let's see what we get. Maybe they can get the W with suboptimal command
天
codes.
にて輝くもの
And these are actually very good command codes for general value, because they don't counter the boss specifically. So they're certainly way better than nothing. And actually, command codes like this is completely fine on a unit that has really good survivability. They don't really care if the boss crits or not.
ここに
Like, I probably didn't even need to do the anti-crit on Cu when I think about it.
我が輩覚醒
現れよ影にしてうつろの星大祖へアウェイク
Hans is such a great unit for a new account because you're probably not going to have Waver, you're probably not going to have Castoria, you're probably not going to have Scatty, Merlin, Tam, you're Joan of Arc, right? You're probably not going to have one of those. But for like 90% of the content, you could still summon a friends, and that's good enough for a lot of things, but there are absolutely main story fights and challenge quests where that is not good enough. And you're going to want a backup support to work with them, and Hans and Mash are like the two options that you want. And maybe David too. And even for early farming, Hans is okay, but he's not much of a farming unit because he's more about stars and crit and long-term MP gain and that kind of thing. That's not, and healing, right? You don't need that for farming. For farming though, it's a Rosh Spartacus, right? The thing is, you don't, that Google Doc was acting like, as a new free-to-play player, you're so short on mats that you couldn't possibly level a Rosh Spartacus and Hans, right? You couldn't possibly do that. That's literally like the argument in the Google Doc, which is ridiculous. Hans is not even much of a mat investment. He's very easy to get up to the point where you need him to be. So it's stupid logic. Wow, their damage, really well there. Yeah, I'm glad we're killing the 3 NP tick one first. Because let's see if I can kill him right now. Hopefully, yeah, I think they're gonna win. I think they're on track to win. This looks good. Like, they just have so much damage. That's why I've always said I don't think they're that bad of a solo unit. Like, their damage output is just nuts. The only thing that shuts them the hell down, and this does happen from time to time, is when the boss damage output is also really high. Because they've really only got the 1 turn of survivability for themselves and the Mystic Code, and that's it. And so if there's a boss that is just throwing out crazy damage, they generally will die before they have enough turns to like MP a bunch. So they never get that value. Where some of the other big solo units like Cu and Kidu, Tama, many others, there's so many good solo units these days, they have enough survivability to make sure that doesn't happen, and so they're not on par with like the best of the best, but they're not that far behind though. Like if they got like a buff that was surprisingly impactful, although I do suspect if they got a buff, they would get a damage buff. They wouldn't get a survivability buff. But if they did get a survivability buff, they would be up there with the best of them. There's really nothing you can do about audio. It's like, I don't know why people, like, no song has the same audio level, and normalizers don't work worth a damn, so, like, there's no world that's not gonna be the case. Okay, so, we might die. And it's just because of the survivability. It comes down to this turn. We have to win right now, or we're dead. So probably a good time for Buster. It's because he had all those buffs, right? He just has all of those buffs. So I mean, it's kind of destined to happen. We were kind of lucky that didn't happen sooner, actually. Okay, this is the most damage we can do. Yeah, they've got to win right now, and unfortunately, this is where their value falls off. Their buffs wear off, then they kind of suck. And I will say that is the case with them. When their buffs wear off, they do start to suck. But a lot of times they win by then. Because they've almost done 1 million damage at neutral, right? That's pretty good. Okay, we got by a satellite. No, it's a space probe. Excuse me. Deep space expedition nonsense. Not a satellite. Totally different. Still solid. I mean, that's actually really good. Like, yeah, not as good as like some of the AoE people, but they're not AoE. So, I mean, like that's pretty good. Did better than Ushi. No offense to Ushi, but you know she's not the strongest in straight value. Both team and solo, I find she's not the best. I mean, she's good for a 3-star. She's excellent. It's just 100 face a little bit better. It's close, very close though. And it is apples and oranges, where Ushi's better in burst, 100 face is better in long term. Although they're both good in both, funnily enough. And then Coo's much better, but Coo's silly. What's another single target, chat? Fujino, I would imagine Fujino could do this. Fujino is normally very close to Cu. Generally what makes or break their value difference is just which one of them has more niches, right? Are there debuffs? Favors Cu. Are they very large? Favors Fujino. Does the boss have a big defense gimmick? Favors Fujino, right? Stuff like that. And actually, I feel like Fujino is favored more than Cu because she has more niches. Now, I do kind of want to do 100 face. I do. We might do Tristan and stuff, but 100 face sounds kind of cool actually. Orion would win if you get lucky, and you'll probably lose if you don't. But if Orion gets lucky, he'll kill them both so fast. It's just a matter of getting good RNG. That's just all it is. If he gets lucky, you win. That like 1,000,000 damage on Orion is not hard. It's just can you get the RNG to line it up within the turns that you have in survivability. That's the whole thing. So if you get lucky, you win. If you get unlucky, you probably lose. What was I saying though? I just, who the hell was I talking about? It was before 100 face. I completely lost. Oh, Fujino and Cu. So in terms of raw pound for pound value in both team play and solo, I find Fujino and Cu are pretty much tied. Though for budget, I kind of think Fujino is sometimes better just because of better buster support for budget, Qingong and stuff. I don't know though. I mean, Cu's just so universal in his staying alive. But in team, they're pretty comparable. I don't know, I might actually favor Cu more when I think about it. Cu's survivability actually works better in a team than Fujino's does, I would say. Definitely it does. Anyway, in the team, they're very close. In a solo, where it's just Tesla, I want to do that, because Tesla's awesome. But in a straight, raw value, like last man standing or solo, Cu and Fujino are almost dead even. I think Cu might be just a hair ahead, right? But they're very comparable. And then Cu has his day where the stage favors him more, like absolutely, especially with debuffs, then it'll favor him way more. But I think there are more types of gimmicks that will favor Fujino more because she has buff block, she has armor ignore, she has anti very large. You know, this is a lot of stuff that can come up that will swing in Fujino's favor really hard. So it's not like Cu's an amazingly good unit, but I think Fujino's like moment pops up a bit more often. But it's honestly kind of like splitting hairs because they're both applicable like constantly and they're murdering things constantly. So let's do 100 face because we've done Ushi and Ushi struggled big time, and then Cu beat the shit out of this stage, and Ushi was level 120. Although I guess we don't have a 100 face. That's unfortunate, but we'll do 100 face anyway. But yeah, that kind of, hold on, let me, I gotta bring up secure folder, so let me not stream that. Oh god, I forgot I'm using OBS right now. I'm not using my monitor right now to see my phone. Okay, 100 face tomorrow, chat. 100 face tomorrow, because I'll just set that up then. So maybe Tesla or Tristan. Tristan is so good, I would like to show off Tristan stuff. Although he might struggle here just due to a lack of survivability. When the enemy has this much health, because at neutral this is a lot of health. You need a good chunk of survivability. You're not gonna burst this down generally unless you're abnormally bursty or have a niche or something like that. Okay, we'll just do Tesla. Tesla is one of my favorite characters. I love his animation updates so much. I am totally game for some Tesla action. I'm not sure he's gonna do that well here though. Again, this lack of survivability. I mean, Vertra got pretty smacked here, so... I almost want to bring buff success chance just because we may not sync up his buff success chance from his skill. But I don't know if I can push that kind of greed here. I'm not sure we do Merlin either. That Orion emote, that's pretty funny. I really want a version of that though, where it's the bear face for the entire thing. Maybe heal boost. I wonder if I can get enough out of healing to stay alive an extra turn. Or 2 even. This may be a lost cause, but I think I'm gonna try it. We've been showing off some strong stuff though, so maybe we do use Canis. Because she definitely is a cut above, like Vertra and even Tesla. Like Tesla's good and everything, but Tesla is absolutely not as good as Canis. At least not in his solo. Even in team play though, Canis is fucking awesome. I don't even know why people act like she's not. I've used her in some pretty crazy challenge quests in team play, and she does so well. But Tesla probably does have more synergy with team play, just because the team-wide NP gain and stuff like that, and the teammates can allow him to NP spam easier, and that definitely makes him stronger over Canis, I would say. The more he NPs, that makes a real problem for the enemy side. Okay, we need some kind of crit removal. There's no question. We just are going to have that on something. I might need to put it on an art card. Yeah, I think I need to put it on an art card, because a buster card's pretty much got to be heal. It's either that or the other buster. The problem is I also need attack removal, so I think Merlin might have to go. That is unfortunate, but I don't... Tesla just doesn't use his quick card. Like, you don't ever use it. You use it when your taunts are alive, and that's about it. I guess what I do is crit down, and then I'll put Merlin on the quick card in case I get it when the taunts are alive. I guess this one. So I tell you what though, if I ever get a good one at level 100, because I haven't leveled a lot of CEs like this, other than the Yang CE, but we're not going to use that, because that's too much value. But Tesla is probably going to want to start with a non-starting NP CE. The way his gameplay is now, I think that's the way to go. The only reason I might not do it now is because the only level 100 non-starting NP CE that I have is the Yang CE, and that's obviously too strong and would make this not really a fair test to anyone that doesn't have the Yang CE, so... I've got Art of Death at level 80, but I'm not sure that would keep up with like Golden Sumo at 100, because, you know, Golden Sumo's so good, chat, and it applies to your... Oh, you know, chat, we got the people from the Pheno raid. I should, you know, clearly no one out there knows that Golden Sumo is so good, right? They would need me to tell them. It's not like... It's such a niche craft essence, chat. No one knows what it does, right? And the whole attack up effect on it means it's good for art units and buster units and quick units. It helps all of them. It even makes your extra attack better. It makes your crits better, makes your non-crits better, makes your NP better. It's one of the most universally boosting craft essences in the game, right? So, and it's so niche, no one knows about it, chat. Gotta spread the word around. Anyway, let's, I'm thinking we use Golden Sumo, though. I'm actually think that's the way to go. I guess there's this. Actually, not bad on Tesla in a solo. Really not. That's a lot of damage. Oh, crap. There's no way. What? Chat, every time. There's no way. I know the criteria of this game. There's no way Voyager's going to be Earth or Sky. There's no way. And there's so many. I gotta stress this. There are so many units in this game that are Earth or Sky. They're everywhere, because Earth is like any kind of legend that wasn't real, right? Like someone that wasn't a real person, like Achilles, right? And Sky is pretty much anything that's divinity. Those two things are so common, right? It is super, super common. And every time we've used Tesla recently, oh, Voyager Star. I don't even. I guess because it's from space. I guess. Okay, so we get that. That's good. What about the new one though? But yeah, I figured he'd be. I guess they don't want to make him man, but he really should be man because he is part of proper human history. Like it's a real life thing. But yeah, I guess space. They make Star from space a lot. Star is either divinity, space, or like things that move civilization forward. That's generally how they use it. Oh, Earth! Well, great. Never mind. We get our gimmick then. I tell you what, though, Tesla would not hate Voyager. It's actually dumb that his gimmick works on Voyager then. Because the whole thing with Tesla is he dislikes fantasy and like people lying to themselves and like not facing reality and not, you know, he likes science over religion, right? That kind of thing, right? That's why he doesn't like the gods. You know, he likes humanity taking care of themselves, taking matters in their own hands, and not, you know, crying and doing their best and moving forward, right? That's what Tesla wants. So he doesn't like the crutches of like the stories that aren't real and, you know, all that kind of stuff and the gods, you know, running humanity. He doesn't like any of that. So he would be completely okay though with Voyager because Voyager is science and human exploration and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like Voyager's, I would actually, now that I think about it, I would love a scene between Voyager and Tesla talking to each other because I would be awesome. Like actually that would be super fucking awesome. Like it's so lame that he gets the bonus damage on him, really. That's not right. But maybe we do go Black Grail just because it'd be interesting to see how much damage we do with our niche. I'm doing it. Like, yeah, our first NP is gonna be really slow and everything, but I kind of want to see what happens. Hard to say if this is better than Golden Sumo though, but quite often in solos it's not. But for how much damage Tesla can do, it might actually be good. Yeah, I think, well, the problem with Tesla and Gil is egos clashing, but in terms of like their goals, they're pretty aligned. They're actually, now that I think about it, they're incredibly similar. It kind of manifests differently, but they're both anti-God, they're both wanting humanity to stand on their own and move forward and that kind of thing. So yeah, their goals are aligned. I have no idea if their personalities would work out though. That might go south. It'd probably be up to the writer. Like the writer could do it either way, really. But yeah, their goals are actually extremely similar. Tesla's maybe nicer about it. I'm gonna just pretend I didn't get that other Buster card. I don't think it's worth it putting it on cooldown. I'll just pretend we got a really bad hand, which I mean we did. The thing is, I say this all the time, but it's just the truth. Caster Gil and Archer Gil are the same character. There's like no personality difference. And people say, oh, what are you talking about? There's not, and like Nasu has pretty much confirmed this. The reason Gilgamesh acts so differently, like in Fates the Night, for example, is because the state of humanity is dog shit in the modern era, and like they're, you know, lost their way in his eyes, and most humans don't have any purpose or, you know, goal. They're not necessary to society. And he's also tainted by the Grail. Now, it doesn't affect him very much, but it does affect him. It does. It does make him a little unhinged. And Nasu has straight up said in an interview that Gil's personality is very influenced by the state of humanity. So in CCC, where he doesn't hate the state of humanity, like look at CCC Gil. He acts almost exactly like Caster Gil. Like seriously, there's like, what's the difference? They're extremely similar. Like CCC Gil is still, I'd say, a little bit more arrogant, but they're both way nicer. They're both protagonists. They're extremely similar. I'm not. The difference is so fucking tiny. And even for Face Strange Fake for the most part. That's mainly because Enkidu's there though. But anyway. So I really stand by this, and I think Nasu would agree with what he said, that if you put Caster Gil in Fate Stay Night, he would be pissed too, right? The reason he's not pissed in Babylonia is because humanity's awesome in Babylonia, and everyone has purpose and meaning and drive and that kind of thing. And he's also not corrupted by the Grail. So like honestly, Caster Gil and they've kind of played it up just because they know the community's seen it that way, because Gil in Fate Stay Night acts that way, and that's the Gil everyone like knows and loves. So they kind of want Archer Gil to act that way, and they want Caster Gil to be the more bro one. But when you look at CCC, you like, oh yeah, that's Caster Gil. Like seriously, read CCC. It's basically Caster Gil, right? And that's Gilgamesh when he's not pissed the fuck off. So. Yeah, there really isn't any difference. It's more about just the state that they're in and like what's around them and that kind of thing. I mean, Archer Gil's established. Yeah, Archer Gil is the same thing. He's basically same age range, and he's got the memories of after establishing Babylonia and all that. So it's the same thing. And again, Nasu's talked about it. It's just, you know, Gil's pissed in Fate Stay Night. in Fate Zero because of the state of humanity, because modern world, and Castrogil's not in the modern world. And again, when you do see regular Gilgamesh in other circumstances, like, am I wrong? Like, does anyone disagree with me? Like, if you look at CCC Gilgamesh and Castrogil, it's basically the same character. Right? Like, I would say CCC Gil is slightly more arrogant, but it's pretty damn minor, and they're both way nicer and, you know, way more reasonable and, you know, not wanting to murder most of humanity. That's another thing. And even in Fate Strange Fake, they're really similar. But that's a bit different though, because again, it's modern world, but then Enkidu's there, so that's a whole weird shtick. I have misplayed so bad, I'm going to restart. I should have cast my first skill on turn 1, and also that first turn was so shitty that, yeah, I should just redo that. Just pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I feel like F-Go has like overly played up the difference between Caster Guild and Archer Guild just to play to the crowd, and they do that all the time. Like with Jolter becoming Tsundere for some reason. That one really annoys me. I actually liked Jolter's character in the early days when she actually was a character, and then they just turned her into a generic Tsundere. And it does not even line up with what the character was about before that. I don't think it was humanity's fault and extra. I don't think so. But I don't entirely remember, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I don't even like Nero, but I agree, it's the same thing with Nero. Even though I don't like her, I acknowledge that in Extra, she was written decently well, and she was a three-dimensional character with relatable, like, stuff about human selfishness and all that. Like, that's all pretty interesting. And that's all gone. And now she's just Umu jokes. Like, she, again, playing to the crowd is always shit. Because I am 100% serious about this. When it comes to popular fiction, right? I think most of the audience is going to miss deeper stuff all the time, right? If you get something that's popular, more of the audience is gonna go over their head than not, and things get boiled down to like the simplest form to the crowd. And so when you play to the crowd, you're eventually going to end up pandering to stupidity. I really think that's the case. So, like, when things get really popular and have a huge audience, and you start pandering to the audience, things are always going to get dumber. Because collectively, the audience is stupid. That doesn't mean the individuals are stupid, but, like, collectively, most audiences are stupid. So, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, like, Lancelot's nothing but fucking NTR jokes. Right? Like, it's just what it is. And yeah, a big part of why I don't like pandering to the crowd, right? I prefer when artists stick to their guns and have their own vision, their own ideas, and they just go with that, and people are too stupid to get it. Fuck them. That's one thing I like about FromSoft. That's kind of how they do it for the most part. I actually love that about FromSoft, because they do it beyond just the characters and the storytelling. I'm actually really surprised by this. I thought they would bend more with Elden Ring, but they really didn't. I have seen, because Elden Ring got so popular that the mainstream could not ignore it. I have seen more people, like big reviewers and stuff on YouTube and things like that, that refused to play Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, but then they played Elden Ring, and it's because it got so popular they couldn't not do it. I mean, I've seen many big YouTubers do that, where they would not play Dark Souls 1 and 2, they refused. But then they played Elden Ring, and I've seen that for so many people, right? I mean, it sold so much more than Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 did. So the mainstream got exposed to that, you know, way more than any of the other games. And the amount of, like, whining and, like, illegitimate complaints is hilarious. Now, there are flaws with Elden Ring. I have my own gripes with it. But it was hilarious just seeing all of these people just be so mad at the lack of an easy mode and, like, fundamentally not understanding what the game is even about and what the gameplay is there for. Right? So many people having it just go so far over their head, making 20-minute reviews of them talking about how they couldn't get past the Tree Sentinel, and then just sort of saying the game's badly designed over and over and over again without actually being able to articulate or, you know, extrapolate on that. Like, I've seen that so much with Elden Ring. That's what I'm talking about, because Elden Ring hit the mainstream. It hit the group, it hit the masses, and that, look at how many fucking idiots you know, just have these moronic ideas about it. And anyway, FromSoft thankfully has never, you know, bent to any of that stuff, because their stuff's not even that hard to begin with. I really gotta say this, FromSoft games have never been that hard. They're just punishing and require you to learn something new, right? So like when I first played Dark Souls 1, I got destroyed because I didn't know what the controls were, I didn't know what iframes were, I didn't know about the equip load stuff, but you know, as I played the game, I figured it out. I paid attention, I looked around, I'm like, oh, this allows me to do this, oh, if I do that, I can do that. And you get better and better, and you start to understand it, and then it falls, you know, into place like clockwork. Kind of the point of the game, by the way. So when people, you know, want everything explained to them and want the game to hold their hand and put big signs over everything, you're literally missing the point of the game. And this is not an insult, I actually think this is a compliment. I think Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and I haven't played Bloodborne yet, so I'm not sure about that one, but I think those games are bad if you strip away the difficulty and the learning, the discovery. If you take that away from those games, I think they're pretty subpar. They have interesting lore and atmosphere, but they're not good like roller coaster rides. I think they're actually pretty bad. If you're wanting like a roller coaster ride that holds your hand, those games suck. Even if you made those games easier and you made it more in your face and it explained everything super clearly, it would be a boring game. Like, those games are an exercise in like the scientific method. Like, they really are. I don't think it's too a stretch to say that. And that's why they're fun. And if you don't enjoy that, they're just not for you. And that's okay. It's okay if those games aren't for you. But it's stupid to want those games to change and be something that they're not, because they're not good anyway. That's like wanting a fucking burger to be a hot dog, right? It's not gonna, it doesn't work, right? Like you want a good burger to be a good burger. You don't prep a burger like you prep a fucking hot dog. Or a better comparison would be like sushi, right? The way you would prep sushi is not how you prep a fucking hamburger, right? These things are at such odds with each other. Anyway, yeah, pandering to the crowd's stupid. That's why Jolter's a tsundere. That's why Lancelot's nothing but NTR jokes. And that's why Tesla always gets to be AC/DC jokes. And it's dumb and it's stupid. And I wish they would stop doing it because it lacks depth. And I miss when Fate had better characterization. And it still has good characterization from time to time. It's not like all is lost, but there's more schlock in Fate these days than not, I would say. By the way, Jolter still needs an animation update regardless, so imagine being that popular of a character 6.5 years in or 7 years in or whatever we're at now, and you don't have an animation update. It doesn't even really make sense, but mark my words, they've got something planned. It'll probably be like when she gets rated up again and they can put her in the spotlight again, and they want everyone to roll for those Jolter coins, right? That's what they want. I would love to NP here because I got a good hand for it. But stunning is bad. So maybe I don't first skill, so I don't land the stun. This is awkward. Yeah, I guess I just throw it out, and I actually hope we don't stun. Especially don't want to stun the new welfare because they have 2 actions per turn. So they're more likely to kill George. Okay, what about Zig? I'm sort of shocked Zig comes with 2 skills. Are you starting off? The reason he's starting off with more skills than everyone else is because he's a tutorial summon. And they wanted him to have his anti-dragon from the get-go. Because back, you gotta remember, when the game first launched, not in NA, it was not like this in NA, but when the game first launched in Japan, you got XP very slowly. I mean, unbelievably slowly. There were no XP dailies of any kind. There was nothing. You didn't get the free FP summon. FP summon had way less XP in it. You basically got XP from doing events, which the game didn't have an event for like the first few weeks. And you got it from free quests, like bronze XP from free quests. So you leveled slow, and I mean really slow. Like, you're gonna be level like 10 in Orleans slow. And so they wanted Zig to have the anti-dragon thing for Orleans, because the base game only went up to Septim. So Orleans was a really big part of it. And it was just, no one was gonna get Zig's 3rd skill by Orleans. Ever. Like, there was just never gonna happen back then. So that's why. Which actually was a good decision back then, to be honest. The game is so different now, though, it kind of stands out as this really bizarre thing. Alrighty. I don't want a first skill, even though I want the NP gain buff. However, I want to. Yeah, I should have done the buff success chance command code because I want to do my second skill for the defense up. Maybe I wait one turn. Why did we do no damage to Voyager? What? Is he Sky? Or Star? Excuse me. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's because he's Star, not Sky. That, of course. I don't know why I was conflating those two. I don't know what I'm crazy. So yeah, he doesn't get the thing at all there. So that means what I need to do is I need to be attacking Voyager this whole time. Shit. That messes a lot up. I think I throw out my second skill and just hope it doesn't. Maybe I wait one turn. Yeah, I think I wait one turn. We'll do. I do full NP gain. So because we don't get a bonus on Voyager, that means Black Rail is not particularly good here. Yep, I needed to debuff the fancy FGO Day 1 is just such a good game. If I had my first skill up last turn, I'd have my NP right now. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I guess I wait another turn. That super sucks, though. Now I'm just gonna overcharge really hard. So I need to do heal plus, though. We'll do this. Even said in an interview like 5 years ago that they had no idea what they were doing at the start of the game. You would never miss that now if you catch the art, but back, yeah, I remember they said that like early on they, just had no idea that the game was going to get popular like this. A lot of this stuff wasn't planned out. There's a lot of weird stuff in FGO because of that. What I'm getting at is if they made FGO today, it'd have a gear system in it, and the game would be so much worse. Because you wouldn't have a set in-game curve, like the stats you need to have. Okay, now we want a stun, so we got our stun up on our first skill. We finally do our attack buff. This is where our value's at. Buster Chain's nice, but healing is actually what I'm gonna do. Yeah, there would absolutely be a gear system in it. I think gear systems kill games too, dude. Like, they add so many problems in the long run. They're good in the short term, as a carrot on a stick and some stuff to get people to play. But in the long run, I think they are so bad for games. They're only good for games when the gear is done in when the gear is not designed in a treadmill, right? When it's designed differently than that, then it's fine. But they're normally designed that way. And see is all. Thank you for hanging out, dude. Sorry I didn't get to your Canis there. I got kind of sidetracked. Alright, I'm gonna kill the front one next turn, so it really does just comes down to Voyager. Oh, I shouldn't have healed. I should have healed after Guts because of the RHP drain. I think it'll still work out, but that could be a problem. I get 50% battery, so I only need 20%, or actually 19%. So I guess just the one art card. I can remove the crit buff, but it's not gonna really matter later. The heal buff's not gonna matter either, but it's got crit chance on it. Yeah, I don't think Black Rail's the way to go here, though. There's things I like in Genshin even now, but it just has so much like waste your time stuff in it. And like this is such a small thing, but this was a huge part of why I stopped playing it. And I still play it occasionally, but It was when they did the Japanese zone update. That's a really big update, and they changed the rate at which you could skip dialogue. And that change just tells you their mindset. They're trying to waste your time. Right? They made it significantly slower to skip through dialogue. So if you were trying to blitz through boring like bits of the story that you don't care about at all, it takes like 3 times as long. And that's done intentionally. I saw this all over the game design. When that update came out, everything about that update's design was designed to waste your time, so it took you longer to complete the content that they added, so it bought them more time to add new content. Everything about that update was like that, and that just completely made me not want to play the game anymore. Like, it's everything in that update is like that. The way you travel, how they prevent you from using a lot of the quality of life stuff, like the boat and stuff, for a really long time. That's all there to waste your time. The reason you can't leave that first city when you first start is to waste your time. The reason that the skipping dialogue is so much slower is to waste your time. The reason why you talk to a bunch of NPCs about literally nothing in the main story for like an hour is to waste your time. Like, you don't get to any of the parts of the story that matter for so long, because what they're trying to do is so, because when the game first came out, the one complaint everyone had was there wasn't like they finished everything and they wanted more to do. And so instead of adding more to do, they tried to elongate the same content that was already there and just make it so it took longer for people to beat it. But you know what that did? That made the game really unfun to play. Made it very frustrating. Made it if you wanted to play combat, it took so much longer to get to the combat sections. Also, the game had started to have growing pains with the gear system. It had gotten to the point where if you were super mega ultra geared, everything in the game was a joke. And then when they'd make content aimed at super ultra geared people, the people that weren't super ultra geared couldn't really do it. But then everything else is too easy, right? So that happens in every game that has gear, by the way. And it made the game shit. Like, those two things, it hurt the game so much. And the storytelling also got really bad. Apparently, a lot of the writers quit during that update. And that's why I think the writing took such a huge nosedive. Not that the writing was god tier before that, but my god, the writing in that update was so bad. And it was like very noticeable how bad it was. Okay, we probably want Atlas. I think if we had Atlas, we would have done better here. We basically need to stun or get the fuck out. Unfortunately, I can't heal myself this turn because I kind of fucked that one up. So Tesla can beat this, but you need to actually sit down and really do this proper. You need to bring the right command codes, the right craft essence, the right mystic code. You gotta really min-max this, because you are really pushing it on value here with Tesla. I do think you can do it. If you figure it out and you use the right setup, I think you can solo it. And we might solo it now. If we had stunned there, I think we would have won. Maybe if we crit? No, we're dead. That's right. Close, very close. Actually, if I hadn't fucked up with the heal thing, we might have won. But yeah, not quite. It's beatable though. It is beatable. And hey, he did better than some of the other units that we used today. I don't know why Genshin would be cheap about anything though, because they make so much money. It's like when you make that much money, you want to reinvest it in your game and you want to keep quality up. And then, like, a lot of Genshin's growing pains and pitfalls, are so avoidable, and easily. I mean, easily. Like, there's just so many things he could have done in that game to avoid a lot of the gear issues, but still give people, like, you know, fun challenges to do and whatnot. The Abyss mode's a good idea, but it's too much of a gear check, you know, acquiring gear is such a bad experience, right? Those two things didn't need to be that way. You know, that game doesn't even need the gear treadmill, really. Which CE is best for farming, wait, what ascension at? For the welfare? Wait, are you talking about, like, getting the little doll things or whatever? Is that what you're asking? Yes, overall, it's really just the Lancer one, right here, because it just drops everything in a decent amount. Now, if you get to the point where, like, you only need red ones, it's not the best stage, for example, right? But if you're like, oh, I need all three, this is the best stage right here. And for CEs, you just want to bring, you know, this thing, as many of these as you can. So bring as many of those CEs as humanly possible, do that stage a bunch, and that'll get it done. It is a bit grindy though, but thankfully this event lasts for like another 11 and a half days or something. So you have plenty of time if you're not if you're not trying to like get it done like right now. It's not a big deal. So yeah, you should be fine. Okay, chat. I think I'm gonna wrap up here. I do want to stream more. I swear, it's just I am really tired. Tomorrow I'll try to get some Elden Ring in for sure. I really want to sit down and actually play a bunch of Elden Ring. At some point we'll play that Gundam game, but they're having so many network issues that we can't really do that. And we'll obviously do more FGO soon. FGO is still my main game. I mean, that's not changing. But let's see if there's someone we can raid real quick here. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone hanging out, and I appreciate the subs, guys. Life is good. I have no complaints. Let's see, we got Sharquado, we got... Actually, Sharquado is the only person playing FGO on my list here, so we will raid him. And he's been doing really good. Like, his stream has grown so much. Dude, he just came out of nowhere, right, and started streaming FGO, which is super hard to get into. It's so oversaturated, and he's already kind of, you know, moved up a lot, so that's pretty great. But yeah, go get him, go spam some shark emotes. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.